You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. Tonight's game broadcast will begin in a moment. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. Tonight's game broadcast will begin in a moment.
Gentlemen, it's time for Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network on YouTube. Of course, Mudbugs are taking on the Amarillo Wranglers for the second time this season here at the Budweiser Bullpen. And, of course, a big hello to our friends and neighbors at the Buffalo Wild Wings watch party on Airline Drive. Hopefully everything is going smooth there in terms of broadcast issues. Of course, we had a couple last week in Lone Star, but that is then. And tonight, well, is tonight. And as I mentioned, Mudbugs taking on the Amarillo Wranglers for the second time this season. Last time we saw this Amarillo Wranglers team was not the result we hoped for. Of course, that game ended not as smooth as we liked. As I mentioned, 4-3 on Saturday night. That was opening night, actually, at Georgia's Bonnet Hirsch Coliseum. And on Saturday night, was a 4-1 loss for the Mudbugs. But that is back in September. Today, December 5th, new chapter and new hockey team for actually both of these sides, really. Of course, Mudbugs come off a excellent weekend against the Lone Star Brahmas and an excellent sweep against the aforementioned Brahmas. 3-1 on last Friday night, and 3-2 on last Saturday night. Of course, when we come back, my conversation with Mudbugs assistant coach Brett Smith, of course, talked about not only this weekend's series as well as last weekend's series, but I also wanted to get his thoughts on what his Spotify Wrapped or Apple Music Recapped looked like. Of course, you're listening to the Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat pregame show, and as always, you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. We'll be back in a moment.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Welcome back to the Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat pregame show. Of course, joining me now is Mudbugs assistant coach Brett Smith. Smitty, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah. So, Smitty, last week we come off an excellent performance of a weekend against the Lone Star Brahmas and Dan Wildfall. Of course, I'm sure that had to feel a little good for you, former teammate. But, of course, that is in the past, and on the back burner this weekend, we got the Amarillo Wranglers, the team that we saw back in September, back at Georgia's Bonnet Hirsch Coliseum. And one of the things I talked to a lot of the guys about is this team, this Mudbugs team, as well as the Wranglers, actually, for that matter, it's been a tale of two different teams. Now, obviously, that's going to happen, but I think Yeah. Honestly, I think they're just two different teams. There's really not much more you can say. And with that in mind, what are your thoughts coming into this weekend about this Amarillo team?
Well, I mean, they're a hard-working, big, strong, fast team, which they took it to us in the first two games that we played them in our own building. So we need to definitely come fired up and ready to play. And they're in a situation where they've lost a handful in a row. We're in the exact opposite situation where we've won a handful in a row. So they're going to be guns a-blazing and looking to get out of that little streak that they're in. And we want to keep ours going. And the guys have been working hard all week and coming off a nice couple wins in Lone Star. But it's going to be a battle. We're going to have the full gear going and 60 minutes all night long.
Absolutely. And speaking of this Amarillo team, of course, I'm sure when you first came into here, you heard a lot. Of course, I'm sure those dates were circled on the calendar because this Amarillo team is coached by former Mudbugs assistant coach Michael Hill, a man that Jason Soupy Campbell had a very good relationship with, although I think he has a better relationship with you, but just my opinion on the matter. But moving along, but what was one of the things that you got to look forward to against this Amarillo team outside of the performance? I know that's a weird question. I'm just curious if you had any extra thoughts on that, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, in any sport, any game, if you're going up against somebody that has put in time within your organization, you want obviously you want them to have success all year long. But when it comes to battling them, you want to have the success and it's probably exactly what he's thinking down there. So maybe a little extra added sugar on top for us this time because we got to take it to us for 2 games. So we need to really get back at them here.
Absolutely. Just kind of give it back to them, if you will. All right. So last week, I'm going to kind of go back and forth between last week and this week just because, why not? So last week, of course, Friday night ended in a 3-1 win, and Saturday night ended in a 3-2 win against the aforementioned Lone Star Brahmas. And damn wild fun because again, you mentioned when you coach against your friends and you battle against your friends, it's always good to get that just extra sugar on top. But about to say, what was the word going into the dressing room after those 2 games and really coming back home? So if that makes sense.
Yeah, of course. I mean, we put together 2 solid 60-minute games, and I mean, if you look back over those games, there probably wasn't a situation that didn't confront us, 5-minute power plays, 5-minute penalty kills, fights, you name it, all these sorts of things. And I really think that those were 2 playoff hockey games, and I love the way we came out and responded because that's one heck of a team that Fongers got over there. So for us to go into their building and pick up 4 points it says a lot about our group, but how do we respond from here?
Absolutely, that's one of the biggest things, and that's obviously one of the questions we're going to look to answer this week. Now, you mentioned the penalty kill, you mentioned 5-minute penalty kills and such. You talked to me when I talked to you last week. You mentioned wanting to stay out of the box, but I will say this: even though we did not stay out of the box as much as we wanted to, obviously, we still made it a kind of a win. I think because we obviously improved the penalty kill, and I think any chance you can do that is a win in itself. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, obviously, if you get put in those situations, you want to respond to the best of your abilities, and our penalty kill came up huge, and I mean, a big part of that was Haji and net. I mean, he stood on his head for us and made the saves when we needed, but we just had guys battling all night long, and when you're battling all night long, that bleeds into the penalty kill, and you work even harder, and we had some great success with that, and hopefully we can carry that over here this weekend.
Absolutely. All right, so now we're going to move back into this weekend against the Amarillo Wranglers. I'm about to say, what's one of their strengths, if you will, that you guys are looking to immediately just shut down, nip it in the bud, if you will?
I think they're just big, strong, and fast. I mean, like a lot of the teams in this league. So for us to counter that, we got to get in their way and play our Mudbugs hockey style of play where we're finishing every hit because you watch them. They are creative when they get their feet moving and get scoring opportunities. They're pretty quick moving on the power play. Their penalty kill is very aggressive. They had a lot of great attributes. And we just need to kind of rise to the challenge and meet them and exceed what they do.
Absolutely. And of course, rising to that challenge and meeting them there. I think one of the best lines that obviously has a chance to do that is the line of Earhart, Semenyo, and Janser. Actually, one of the top producing lines, at least these last couple of weeks. What's the scouting on them for us? Like, not scouting, but you know what I mean. Like, what's the rapport on them and how have you guys sort of giving them their positive reinforcements.
Yeah, I mean, what a great mix, those three. I mean, they all bring something slightly different to the table, and you just never really know what guys are going to have chemistry, when they're going to have chemistry at all. And those guys have really found a way through hard work and communication, and obviously their skill level. I mean, you've got Duke, who's been finishing like crazy. Mango loves to dish that puck, and Jasper's just a brute force out there with his speed and his tenacious opening up ice for those guys. And it's just a great combination right now, and I think those guys are pretty happy with the success they've had.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna ask you one last thing, and I'm gonna let you get going. In terms of music, what's your app of choice? Apple, Spotify, YouTube?
Well, I have Apple Music, but my wife yells at me for not using her Spotify.
Well, in saying that, I was actually going to ask what's your Spotify rap looking like, but I think YouTube does something similar, or you're not big into that sort of.
No, Apple Music. If you go onto my Apple Music, it's all country.
All country.
Yep, I never listened to country until I moved to Louisiana many years ago, and now it's basically all you'll hear.
You know what? You know, it's funny. My dad has a similar story to that. When we were back in Indiana with his family, his phone was ringing. This was like 2005. He tells me, and Toby Keith's song comes on, and my grandmother, bless her heart, and God rest her soul, on my dad's side, she says. Well, she said something not derogatory, but she said something kind of funny, but I don't want to repeat it on there, obviously. Well, Stubby, thank you for joining me here on the Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Fiat pregame show. It's always good to talk to you. And of course, we're looking for a big Mudbugs win tonight. And of course, anybody you want to say hello to back at home?
Oh, always. I know my parents will be watching, and of course, my wife and Max and all the other kids will be checking on the score, I'm sure.
Absolutely. I'm not saying Max and Avery, they're two good kids. See them running around all the time, just like I did back in the day.
There you go.
That's Mudbugs assistant coach Brett Smith, and you're listening to the Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Fiat pregame show. And as always, you're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Welcome back inside the bullpen here in Amarillo, Texas. Mudbugs making their way out on the ice. They've actually made their way out on the ice course now. Amarillo in their pregame introduction. But with that in mind, it's time for the Whataburger starting lineup brought to you by our friends at Whataburger. Whataburger just like you like it. First, for the Amarillo Wranglers, head coach by who else? Former Mudbugs assistant coach Michael Hill. Assistant coach is Lucas Stern. Medical is Lisa Johnson. Head equipment manager is George Escamiliak. Now for those Wranglers, at the left wing, number 8, Danlo Dolan. At center, number 21, Jacob Miller. At the right wing, number 15, Tyler Tuscalos. Of course, at the left defense is number 14, Hayden Hedquist. And at the right defense is number 12, Tavon McCorster. In net for the Wranglers tonight is number 1, Charles Antoine Girard. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Whataburger starting lineup for your Shreveport Mudbugs. At the left wing, from Manhattan Beach, California, number 12, Duke Earhart. At center and taking the opening faceoff from Woodlands, Texas, number 15, Jonah Jesser. At the right wing, from Havertown, Pennsylvania, number 36, Joe Semengo. At the left defense, from Good Hungary, number 17, Nandor Polonyi. And at the right defense, number 6, from Denver, Colorado, Remy Poussateri. And getting the start in net tonight, in goal and in between the pipes, from Gormley, Ontario, the Dartmouth commit, number 31, Tyler Hodges. Those are your Whataburger starting lineups brought to you by our friends at Whataburger. Whataburger, just like you like it. Wranglers now making their way onto the ice. Being told there is some technical audio difficulties from both the NATV perspective as well as the YouTube audio network, Mudbugs audio network feed. We're going to do our best to get those fixed for you. Of course, a big hello to our friends and neighbors at Buffalo Wild Wings on Airline Drive. Hopefully everyone's enjoying the time out there, and hopefully everything's able to get fixed very shortly. Let's take a look at some numbers real quick. While the starting lineups are being introduced, Tyler Hodges with a .909 save percentage, 8 wins, 4 losses, 1 overtime loss. Leading point scorers for the Mudbugs, 3-way tie, Johnny Byrne, Evan Hoagland, Joe Semengo, and then Duke Earhart and Jonah Jasser are right behind them in a 2-way tie for second. For these Wranglers real quick, we'll have to get back to that in a moment. Oh, excuse me, now we're able to get it. course, for these Wranglers, leading point scorer is Jacob Miller. And, of course, the second leading point scorer for the Wranglers is Daniel Resega. And now, wherever you may be, it's time for the national anthem. We ask that you please rise, put your hand over your hearts, and wherever you may be, as it's time for the national anthem. Of course, the Mudbugs coaching staff is head coach Jason Subi Campbell. Assistant coach is Brett Smith. Honorary assistant coach is Chris Lane. Willis Knight athletic trainer is Hunter Robinson. And, of course, head equipment manager is Billy T. Welker. Of course, if there are still some audio issues as well as some video feed issues, apologize for that. We are working diligently here in Amarillo to get it fixed. National anthem time. Please rise wherever you may be as we honor this great country and those who serve at home and abroad. An excellent rocking rendition of the national anthem. Almost Jimi Hendrix-like. Hopefully, audio and technical issues have been fixed. Hopefully, audio and technical issues have been fixed from an NATV perspective as well as Mudbugs Audio Network on YouTube perspective. It's the beauty of technology, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes it works, and sometimes, well, it's sometimes. Mudbugs are in their black uniforms tonight with, of course, the striping on the left and right sleeve as well as the striping on the socks and striping down at the bottom of the jersey. Amarillo in their home whites with a blue bottom sleeve and a blue bottom sleeve and a red middle sleeve. Of course, standings-wise, Lone Star's in first with 35. El Paso is in second with 30 points. New Mexico is in third with 28 points. Odessa 26, and the Mudbugs also at 26. Oklahoma in almost at 20th, with 20 points. They are sitting in sixth place, and of course the Corpus Christi Ice Rays are with them, and the the Amarillo Wranglers are sitting in last place. Face-off just getting ready to get underway here in Amarillo. It'll be Jonah Jasper taking the face-off, And the Wranglers are able to get it inside the Mudbug zone where it is covered up by Tyler Hodges. Right on there with 19:55 left in this contest. We thank you for tuning in to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey, wherever you may be, whether you're back at home on the Arklatex listening or watching from home, or at the Buffalo Wild Wings watch party on Airline Drive. Wherever you may be, we thank you for listening and tuning in to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey. Faceoff will be coming out to the right of Tyler Hodges. Semenko will take the faceoff now. It's one of the things Jason Soupy Campbell mentioned to me. He likes to change the lineup around, or at least change the formation of things. Wranglers win the faceoff up top of the defense. That's a shot. That is number 12, Tavon McCorster with that shot. McCorster now going to hold it. Sends it over to Hayden Hedquist. Hedquist, that shot got blocked on the way through. Now Miller on the left-hand corner. He's going to give it off to McCorster. McCorster, that shot went up, and it'll just land in the left-hand corner. Now Poloni will give it off to Jasser. Tried to pass it out and actually got his pocket picked. Now Amarillo still with it. And a shot on there from Dolan. Gets gobbled up by Tyler Hodges. 19:26 left. Of course, Amarillo getting 2 shots so far. 19:26 left in this contest. We thank you for listening to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey. Shreveport Mudbugs hockey in this first period is brought to you by our friends at Advanced Air Conditioning and Heating, offering installations, repairs, maintenance for homes and business in the area. Log on to advancedac.com. That's advancedac.com. Wranglers win that face-off, and they'll go around the corner. I believe that'll be number 72. Actually, excuse me, that was number 77, Daniel Resega, one of the Wranglers' leading point scorers. Now Wranglers have it back in. Resega now trying to get around Evan Adams. He circles back around, gives it off to Poe, and that shot got deflected on through by a Mudbug. Now Mudbugs come back the other way with it. It's Jeremiah Roberts up to Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard, the former Wrangler, tried to find Roberts in the net front. Nothing doing, and it'll be gobbled up there by Girard. Charles-Antoine Girard. Mudbugs hockey tonight is brought to you by our friends at Fireplace Specialties. Fireplace Specialties is a proud corporate partner of Mudbugs hockey. Fireplace gas logs, glass doors, wood stoves, inserts, mantles, and grills. They got it all. They're located at 8500 Box Road in Shreveport, or log on to fireplacespecialties.net. Mudbugs win that faceoff, but it'll just bounce out of the Mudbug zone. That's Owen Case now. He'll give it off to Chase Sakrisky. Just bounced off his stick, and it's picked up there by Liam Wolf-Tulby. Had an excellent weekend last weekend. Now Wranglers will take it back, and that's O'Rourke. Now he'll try to pass it up, and it'll just go through Thornton's skates, and now Burnt will get battled on there by an Amarillo forward. Now that's Lupo. Lupo tried to get somebody in front, nothing doing. O'Rourke now will take it on here on the right-hand side, and it will get saved away by Tyler Hodges. Of course, puck will still stay in the Mudbug zone, but Owen Case will grab it. Wrangler's going to go off for a line change. Mudbug's trying to get one as well. Liam Wolf-Tulby now will give it off to Vinny DiUlio. DiUlio over here on the left-hand corner in the Amarillo zone, and he gets bodied on by Gentler there. It is Alphonse Gentler. Now Wranglers will take it back in. Will just bounce off the boards rather. Mudbugs will collect it in their own zone now. Ty Easton, and it's turned over. Wrangler's shot. It's blocked on the way through. Still loose. Mudbugs able to come up with it. Griner now going to take it out of the Mudbug zone, and he does. Griner's going to actually take it himself, try to got on through, but he got battled on there by a few Wranglers. But, Willie Alexis Tremblay will find it, but it'll just skittle out of the Mudbug zone. The Wrangler zone. Pusatero will take it behind his own net, going to quarterback the play, going to hold it there behind while Tyler Hodges looks like he battles on there against number 15 there for Amarillo. Now Mudbugs try to come up with it. Girard now, he's going to backhand it to number 12 there. And it'll go down for icing. 7:15 left in this contest. Of course, icing, as always, is brought to you by our friends at Louder's Baking Company. Thank you to Louder's Baking Company for being the brand newest corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs hockey. Jasser will take the face-off against Jacob Miller. Starting lineups back out on the ice. Now Semenko will win it for the Mudbugs. Mitchell Reed shot just rolled on to Girard, and will get covered up or whistle. Hope everybody's doing well on this Friday night. It seems like everything has gotten fixed for the most part. That's the beautiful thing about technology. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's, well, like I said, sometimes it's just that. Face-off now will come out to the right of Girard. False start on the Wranglers, and Jacob Miller will get kicked out, and in his place will come number 15, Tyler Sukalis. Face-off got tied up there. Wranglers do win it out, and they'll clear it out of their own zone. It'll go down the length for icing, and it'll just go right back down to the Wrangler zone. So, icing once again on the Wranglers. .04 left. Mudbugs able to get a shot on goal. Shots are in favor of the Wranglers 3-1. Face-off now. Jasper will take the face-off, but looks like Wranglers will able to come up with that face-off. Not as cleanly, but still come up with it. And Sukalis now bodies on Joe Samango now. Puck loose. That. Joe Samango took a hard accidental hit from Jonah Jasser, and he's back on the bench. He's okay, but that was not pretty. Now Wranglers come back out with it. He gives it off to Higardi. And his shot will just miss whoever he was looking for. Now Duke Earhart going to try to get it, and he battles on against a Wrangler now. They'll be against number 8, Daniel Dolan. Now Evan Adams will take it behind his own net now. Adams now going to hold it. Excuse me, he's going to take it. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Fun stuff. Now McCorster will get it back for the Wranglers. Jeremiah Roberts tried to find the interception, nothing doing. Regessa now will battle on against Evan Hoagland. Find somebody in the front, and he bounces off the pad, still puck loose. And now Mudbugs will take it. Evan Hoagland, he's up, he's on a breakaway. Hoagland shot, and it just goes wide of Girard. Still a good offensive play, though, there from Evan Hoagland and the Mudbugs. But shot just went wide. Now Wranglers will take it back. That's number 14, Hayden Hedquist. He'll give it off to Regessa now. Well, give it off to Koval. That's Alexei Koval, and he'll give it right back. He'll go for Thornton. And he thought it deflected off the stick of number 38. That's 39. The 9 on their jerseys kind of looked like an 8, at least from this vantage point. That's number 39, Jake Thornton. Just had an update from the Amarillo broadcaster, and things are getting resolved here. Mudbugs do win that faceoff. Sakrisky tried to find somebody. Tried taking himself, actually, nothing doing. Now Thornton will just dump it, shoot it right on in to Tyler Hodges. He'll just keep it.
Don't miss out on the action and get your Hockey TV subscription today. Visit NAHLTV.com to subscribe.
15-20 seconds left in his hockey game, and once again, apologies to the Mudbug Audio Network listeners and Buffalo Wild Wing broadcast listeners. Internet bandwidth has been trying to be resolved here in Amarillo. False start on the Wranglers. Gentler will get kicked out, and in his place will be number 10, Jake Boulanger. Boulanger, excuse me. Now O'Rourke will dump it on in. It'll go off the stick of Tyler Hodges. Now Owen Case will take it. Case behind his own net. He'll give it off to Remy Pusateri. Pusateri now back for Case. Case now trying to give it off to Vinny Dulio. He got a little body on in there, but the puck is in the Wranglers zone now. Mudbugs and Wranglers now battling on the boards here. Down to the by left. Wranglers now. Mudbugs do. Oh, they almost came away with it, but now here come the Wranglers. That's number 11. That's Gentler. Gentler getting battled on with Case. Pass tried to get on to Boulanger, and Mudbugs will come back our way with it. Now try to find Greiner, and puck got shot off the boards there. Don't think that's what he wanted to do by a Wrangler, but nonetheless, Wranglers still have it. It's Poe now, and now that'll be number 89, Raskin. He'll dump it into the Mudbug zone. Evan Adams will hold on to it, and he'll give it off to, tried to, and it got deflected on the way through. It'll bounce back into the Mudbug zone, but not for long, as Evan Adams will take it for himself, and he'll give it off to Mitchell Reed, who then gives it off to Jake Stock. Sakrisky now getting some action, but not much of it. Evan Adams will take it back. Circles around the net of Tyler Hodges. Bounce it off the boards, and Amarillo will get it, and it looked like it. Puck out of play, excuse me. I couldn't honestly quite see if the puck actually went into the Mudbugs bench. It did. Okay. 14 minutes even left in this contest. 14 minutes even left in this contest. Shots are in favor of the Wranglers, 5-1. Faceoff now will come out in front of the Mudbugs bench, just out in front of the Mudbug zone. Wranglers win that faceoff. Higardi now getting battled on and getting held on. Earhart and Higardi now getting held on there. And now Mudbugs do take it away. That's Joe Semango. An accidental goal horn fired here in Amarillo. There is no goal. Keep that in mind if you're able to hear it. And now Amarillo will take it back. That's Izadi. That's Ty Izadi. Easton will come back up with it for the Mudbugs. He'll circle around the net while getting battled on there by Higardi now. Johnny Byrne will find it. Johnny Byrne had an excellent weekend. He's actually the subject of the North Caddo Express Lube first intermission show. Speaking of North Caddo Express Lube, North Caddo Express Lube in Vivian. They offer oil changes, inspection stickers, transmission services, and vehicle batteries, as well as Keep Fob batteries. Mention the discount code MUDBUGS25 and get 10% off on your service. Again, that's MUDBUGS25 for 10% off on your service. Call them at 318-375-5823 for more information. You get to North Caddo Express Lube now. Face-off was to the left of Tyler Hodges. Wranglers won that face-off, but Mudbugs are battling on here, and they're trying to take it away at least. They do take it away. Semango now tried to find Gerhard. Excuse me, that was Jeremiah Roberts. Puck will just roll on to the net. There of Girard, it'll be covered up. 13:08, excuse me. Face-off now will come out to the right-hand side of Girard. And it will be Evan Hoagland taking the face-off there against number 27 for the Wranglers, Cruz Smith. Or excuse me, now it's number 25, Ty Izadi. Mudbugs do win that face-off. Polonia now trying to find somebody in front of his. He gets intercepted by the aforementioned Izadi. Now Regessa now trying to find somebody, and he gets some action and bodied on there by Remy Pusateri. Now Polonia will have the puck now. Tries to find Evan Hoagland. He got a little bit of a stick on it, but Wranglers take it back. Now Higardi bounced off his stick. It'll go into the Mudbug zone. Izadi and Polonia now got battled on there. Mudbugs come back out away with it. He gets past number 39, Jake Thornton. Now Mudbugs still in with the zone. Gerhard try to find Roberts. And he'll just get back on, and we'll go for Alexi Koval now. Now Wranglers Thornton, and it turns it over. He turns it over, rather. McCorster now will find his man down there. Now Williams will dump it on into the Mudbug zone. 12:19 left in this contest. 0-0 hockey game. Wranglers lose it, and Johnny Burnt got pulled down in the accidental. Now, DiUlio's pass got intercepted there. Now Johnny Burnt, and almost an offside call there on the Wranglers. Wranglers take it back now and leave it off for McCorster. McCorster back for number 14, Aiden Hedquist. Now Hedquist will just throw it on in there, and Tyler Rogers will just kind of jab it out there. And he'll leave it off there for Owen Case now. Case will take it himself. He'll pass it up to Vinny DiUlio, but it finds its way onto Willie Tremblay's stick. Now, Vinny DiUlio, he almost had his pocket picked, and now Owen Case, that just trickles out. Amarillo, and now Evan Adams now on him, and he poke checks it away just in time, and the puck rolled on through the front. Still not out of the zone yet. Amarillo try to find somebody in front. And now Gentler, and an excellent blocker save by Tyler Hodges. Good stuff there from the Gormley, Ontario native. And now Evan Adams comes up with it. Adams, and an offsides call. That's a momentum killer there. And now we're going to go to a timeout here in Amarillo, Texas. We'll, like I mentioned, take one with them. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. 11-12 left in this hockey game. We'll be back in a moment.
As a business owner, you know it's important to stay ahead of your competition to succeed. One dishonest employee providing poor customer service can send your business to the penalty box. DeFata and Associates has over 20 years of investigative experience that can help you monitor your employees and investigate losses that may be keeping you from reaching your goals. Whether you need GPS tracking, investigative shopping, integrity testing, or you're experiencing losses caused by theft, DeFata and Associates can help. Give them a call at 318-635-9944 or check out their website at defatapi.com for more information.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Excuse if there was any language there. We're back at Amarillo, Texas. Now Mudbugs battling on. Jake Stock will take it now. And he finds Chase Sakrisky in front. Sakrisky fires it in, and Girard will cover it up there. And now Reed now. And now some Wranglers coming over, battling on. It's a bit of some pushing and shoving. It'll just be that, just some pushing and shoving. Nothing more, nothing less. Of course, right before we came back, 6 feet from the edge, Mike Creed was playing. And, well, little known fact about former Mudbugs assistant coach and now Amarillo Wranglers head coach Michael Hill. Big Creed guy, I'll put it like that. He would be playing in the locker room, but I'll just leave it at that. 10:52 left in this contest period. This contest period, excuse me. First period, 0-0 now. Wranglers will win that faceoff. Poe will take it behind his net. He'll try to find Higardi, but it does roll onto the stick of Ty East, and now try to find Hoagland. He'll deflect off his stick. Now Regessa now coming back. He gets a little bit of action there from Remy Pusateri. Easton will find it, but it lands on the stick of Izadi. Now Izadi try to find Higardi in front, nothing doing. Hoagland now will take it away. He finds Grayson Gerhard, the former Wrangler. Now Grayson Gerhard, and there will be a penalty coming up on the Wranglers. Mudbugs will go on the Scott Powerline power play. We'll have to find out what the call here is momentarily. It'll be to number 27. 2 minutes for hooking. So it will be to number 27, Cruz Smith. 2 minutes for hooking is on the board. Mudbugs now will be on the Scott Powerline power play. Brought to you by our friends at Scott Powerline, longtime Mudbug hockey supporters. Thank you to Scott and Powerline. Face-off will go out to the right of Girard, Now Jasser will take that face-off, but the Wranglers will win it. Gerhard keeps it in now. Aforementioned Grayson Gerhard over to Samango. Now Gerhard over here on the left side of the blue line. Shot got deflected on the way through, and it'll bounce. He'll get out of the Mudbug zone. Now Taylor Hodges will back in and leave it for Evan Adams. Evan Adams now will turn back around and take it back the other way. Now Evan Adams trying to find somebody. He does. He finds Joe Samango now. Samango will take it through the neutral zone. Off to Jasser. Try to find somebody in front. Amarillo will get it back and throw it down the ice. Now Evan Adams tries to get on it, but he's getting battled on there by a Wrangler. Jasser will take it back now. Jonah Jasser will take it himself. Going to take it out of the Mudbug zone, take it through the slide. He'll take it himself. Jonah Jasser on the right-hand side. He'll pass it off for Willie Alexis Tremblay. Tremblay for Gerhard. Tremblay now going to hold it. And give it off to Joe Samango. Gerhard for Johnny Burnt. Now for Samango. And the shot just got blocked off, and it almost wrinkled and raggled its way onto the goal line, but it was cleared away by the Wranglers. Burnt now will take it behind his own net. 42 seconds left in the penalty to Cruz Smith. 2 minutes for hooking was the call. And now Hoagland will find Duke Earhart. Earhart able to just get on in, and unfortunately, we'll turn it over now. Bollinger now will take it himself. Bollinger tries to find something. Nothing doing there for the Wranglers. Bollinger now gets battled on there by some Mudbugs. Look like Jake Stock's in there as well as Jeremiah Roberts, Johnny Burnt. Now Mudbugs lost possession now, and of course they'll find it. 10 seconds left on that Crew Smith high stick, 5 seconds left on this penalty. Mudbugs will not succeed on the Scott Powerline power play, but Stock still comes up with it. Jake Stock gonna throw it onto the right-hand corner. Wranglers will bounce it off the glass, but it still stays in the Mudbug zone now. Evan Hoagland, he's gonna try to wrap around. He got battled on there after a big physical hit there. Now Jake Stock. Now Wranglers will take it back. Mudbugs will go off for a line change here. 7:55 left in this period. 7:55 left in this first period. Now Wranglers will bounce off the stick of a Wrangler. Now Sakulas almost had a stick on him, but it got intercepted by Vinny DiOlio. Now Mudbugs will take it behind their own net. That's Owen Case now. We'll give it off to Pusateri. Pusateri off for Greiner. Greiner got a little tap there from Smith there. Crew Smith out of the box. Not fresh out of the box, but you get the idea. Miller now will take it now for Amarillo. Miller, their captain, going to take it on through the front. He gives it off to Dolan. Dolan now. Shot got blocked in the skates of a Mudbug. Now Mudbugs will try to get back down the other way with it, but Amarillo will retake possession in their own zone. Now Poe finds off for the aforementioned number 27 rather, Crew Smith. It's been an interesting night, folks. O'Rourke now, and he'll just bounce out of the Mudbug zone. Good thing there. Now O'Rourke will try to take it himself, but he'll just dump it on in where looks like he'll find. No, he won't. Mudbugs, Evan Adams now will just able to get a stick on it, get some deflection on it. Now it's off for Mitchell Reed. Reed now for Earhart. Earhart for some mango. Shot just high and wide. Now Wranglers will take it back. That's Izadi. Now Resega now. Resega battling on through, and the puck will just roll on in to the net of Tyler Hodges. 6:22 left in this period. Nothing score between your Mudbugs and these Amarillo Wranglers. Shots total right now, 5-3 in favor of the Wranglers. Of course, Mudbugs Hockey Night is brought to you by our friends at Buffalo Wild Wings, Wings, Beer, Sports. Hopefully everyone at Buffalo Wild Wings is having a good time one way or the other, and hopefully everything is able to have been sorted out. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have just been informed that our NATV feed will be down for the weekend. So if you're listening on the Mudbugs audio network, that is the only way you will be able to hear this weekend's contest. I apologize on behalf of the Shreveport Mudbugs. Internet issues are always a fun one. Now, Hoagland. I couldn't quite tell if that went in. Hoagland took a hard hit. Roberts, it'll just roll onto the net of Girard. My eyes are really deceiving me because I swear that bounced in and out, but nothing is being called, and nothing's being called. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the technical issues on NATV. The Mudbugs Audio Network is the only way, unfortunately, this weekend, as far as I'm aware, that you guys will be able to listen to the game this weekend. Internet issues are always prevalent in this time of technology. They're going to take a quick timeout. I think they're going to look at that shot from Evan Hoagland that I thought was a goal. And while they do that, we'll head to a quick break. Nothing contest so far. First period, 5:33 left. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on the Mudbugs Audio Network.
You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. Tonight's game action will resume in the next few minutes. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. Tonight's game action will resume in the next few minutes.
No goal is the call here in Amarillo. They were looking at a shot from Evan Hoagland from the right-hand corner, or actually from the right-hand side, excuse me. They were looking at the shot from Evan Hoagland, and, well, no goal is the call, unfortunately. Of course, if you're listening on the Mudbugs Audio Network feed on YouTube, this is the only way this weekend you will be able to listen to the audio feed, at least as far as I'm aware. I've been given instructions left and right from Amarillo officials, Amarillo technology officials. So the Mudbugs Audio Network on YouTube, on Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey YouTube channel, is the only way, at least as far as I'm aware, we will be able to broadcast this game this weekend. I apologize profusely on behalf of well, actually they're taking another look at it. Okay, that's interesting. So the original call was a no goal. After looking at it, they took a look at they're now okay, I'm jumbled here, ladies and gentlemen. Basically what I'm trying to say is what I'm looking at here is they're looking at it once again here down in front of me in the penalty box to my right. Okay, what a fun night this has been. Technological issues, video reviews, fun stuff, ladies and gentlemen. That's the beauty of hockey in the 21st century. But I digress. Well, we have a second. Nope, wait. Nope, looks like we're done. Wilson now going to skate on out after another word with his linesman. And now it's been reversed. Mudbugs score. Evan Hoagland will get the goal. Evan Hoagland, what a heck. So let's recap how all this went down for those who have been in and out of it. Evan Hoagland took a shot from the right-hand side, and that would be the left-hand side of one Charles-Antoine Girard, and it went in. I did see it cross the line. Nonetheless, Mudbugs help 1-0 here with 5:33 left to go in this first period. Of course, we'll get the assist later. Actually, we'll get them right now. It'll be Evan Hoagland from number 7, Grayson Gerhard, and number 26, Jeremiah Roberts. An excellent start to this period. A weird start, but an excellent start nonetheless. And now Mudbugs win the faceoff. It'll go down the length of the ice and will roll on, but now would be Girard. He'll pass it off to his hand. A big hit from Mitchell Reed. Good stuff there from Mitchell Reed. Reed will blam it on in, and Jake Stock able to get in and out of. Okay, several Mudbugs thinking they were onside, and now Wolf-Tulby came up with it, and they'll turn it right back over. Now here comes Amarillo. It's Dolan. His backhand shot will go wide. Stock trying to get it out of the zone, and now he'll get a big old shove there from Jacob Miller. Mudbugs and Wranglers still battling on here. Now that's McCorster. That's number 12, Tavon McCorster. He'll leave it off for Hedquist. Now going to the right-hand corner. Now Vinny DiUlio will leave it for Mitchell Reed now. Reed going to try to take it back. Backhand pass now to Evan Adams. Adams now for Willie Tremblay. Tremblay for Greiner. Greiner going up through. Gets lost in the feet of Hedquist, and Wranglers come back the other way with it. 2-on-2 now. That's Izotti, excuse me, and that'll be offsides on the Wranglers. 4:27 left in this first period. Mudbugs lead 1-0 after a interesting turn of events. Let's just put it like that. They looked at it once, called it no goal. Looked at it again, called a goal. The goal was scored by number 23, Evan Hoagland. Assist came from Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts. All right, fun stuff. Faceoff will come out of the Mudbugs zone, and the Mudbugs do win that faceoff. Ty Easton will take it now. Easton tried to make his way through the Wranglers, and now the puck will get back on into the Mudbugs zone. Pusateri will backhand, or at least try to, for Jared Greiner. Wranglers still with it now. That's Bollinger. He'll backhand it in. And Rem Pusateri will now come back up with it. Gives it off to Easton, who then gives it off for Jared Greiner. Greiner now. And that'll be offsides on the Mudbugs. DiUlio trying to find a way through. Now Willie Tremblay trying to, with some words for these Wranglers. Talked to Willie Tremblay earlier. William Alexis Tremblay. I've called him Willie all the time on the broadcast. William Alexis Tremblay is his full name. Willie Tremblay with some words. And I talked to him earlier. He was in a fired up and passionate mood, and I don't blame him. I do not blame him. And now Willie will go to the box. No, he will not. Okay, penalty box door was opening for a second with the ref in tow with Tremblay. Tremblay goes back to the bench. Okay. Four left in this period. Mudbugs do win that faceoff, and now Byrne will slap it on into the Wranglers zone. Duke Earhart is there to get it, and he'll try to give it around the boards. It's just stopped halfway. Wranglers will take it back now. Puck goes into the bench of the Wranglers. That'll be a puck out of play. Okay, apparently nobody can hear me now. This has just been a fun experiment. And next time we come to you live, it will be with Chet Yoder. I know some of you are itching and feeding for the return of one Chet Yoder, and he will be back next week when we come to you live from El Paso. Wranglers do win that faceoff in their own zone, but Mudbugs take it back now. Jasser tries to find a way through. It just gets sticked away by Girard. Now Jasser, and finds some angle in front, and he just gets tipped up past Girard, up and past and wide, I should add. Now Wranglers still with it. That's McCorster now. McCorster will bounce it off the boards. Mudbugs take it back now. Semengo now. He'll take it on. Finds Owen Case. He lost it for a second. Gained it back. Gave it to Duke Earhart, and now they're battling in front of the Mudbugs bench. Duke Earhart, and that's Thornton now. Now Earhart comes up with it clean. Poe sideswipes him, and looks like Landon Poe will head to the box. Mudbugs will be on the Scott Powerline power play once again. Hopefully people are able to hear me, and if not, just an interesting night, all things around. Penalty will go to number 6, Landon Poe, for kneeing is the call. He got sideswiped and by the knee, I guess, and it was. Face-off, false start. A lot of hand signals by the ref. Okay, so all in all, Hogan gets kicked out, Stocks in. Mudbugs do win that face-off. They'll be on the Scott Powerline power play now. Burnt back for Earhart. Gives it back to Earhart, and shot gets through. Still loose now. Mudbugs trying to find it. Nothing doing now. Now Wranglers come up with it, and Jake Stock. No, excuse me. So tripping will be the call, and Jake Stock will be the guilty party. So it is now a 4-on-4. Tripping will be the call to number 16, Jake Stock. And 4-on-4 for the at least next 19 seconds at least. 2:53 left in this first period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Now the face-off. Johnny Burnt now getting battled on there by, looks like number 27. That's Crew Smith. Mudbugs still with possession. Not for long, though, as Wranglers come up with it. That's number 25 for the Wranglers. Over to McCorrister. McCorrister's shot just goes wide. Wranglers still with it now. Poloni trying to battle on and take it away. It'll be Resega. Resega gave it off to Hedquist. Hedquist for Izzotti. Izzotti for Resega once again. Resega getting battled on, and it's in the skate of Tyler Hodges. It rolled onto the net, and it's just in the skate of Tyler Hodges. No goal. Excellent save from the Gormley, Ontario native, and the Dartmouth commit. Well, if you're a Mudbug fan, you can definitely put your hands up in the air. An excellent save from Tyler Hodges. Faceoff will go off to the left of Tyler Hodges. Wranglers won that faceoff, but Mudbugs took it away quite quickly now. Jasser will grab it on. 50 seconds left in that penalty to Poe. Of course, for Stock, a minute 5 left. Once the penalty to Landon Poe expires, Mudbugs will be on the first choice personnel penalty kill. But in the meantime, Evan Adams now for Jonah Jasser. Jasser will just skate on out of the zone, reload. He'll turn back around and dipsy-doo, how do you do? And he'll find Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard shot, and it just goes up the boards. Now Evan Adams got a stick on it, but nothing doing as the Wranglers will take it back. 20 seconds left on that Poe penalty. Reminder that was for Ning, and now Bollinger. Keep wanting to call him Bollinger. Bollinger now lost it. Reed found it. Gives it off for Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard will blam it on in. 5 seconds on that Poe penalty. 2 and 1. And now the Amarillo Wranglers will be on a brief power play. Mudbugs on a brief first choice personnel penalty kill. Of course, the penalty came to Jake Stock, and now just got chipped off the boards. 1 minute remaining left in this period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. And now Stock right out of the box. Good stuff all considered. Well, power play, but nonetheless. Puck will get rolled on, and now it's back into the Mudbug zone. Remy Pusateri for Owen Case. Owen Case now will take it. Owen Case now will take it up, and he'll blam it on in to the zone of the Mudbug, or the of the Wranglers. Now, Wranglers do come back the other way. Miller finds somebody in front, and an excellent save from Tyler Hodges, but the hand goes up, and it looks like there'll be something. I can't quite tell if there's a penalty shot or just a standard penalty. 20 seconds even. All right, so let's see what it is here. So Remy Pusateri will get the gate being the box gate, mind you. 2 minutes will be put on the board for head contact. Okay, head contact is the penalty. Remy Pusateri will sit in the box for the next 20 seconds. Of course, second period will come right back out and in the box, but nonetheless, Wranglers will be on the power play, and the Mudbugs will be on the first choice personnel penalty kill once again. $20 seconds left, and apologies to those who are trying to find our NATV feed. The internet has gone out. Penalty will be to Remy Pusateri for head contact. Now Wranglers behind the net of Tyler Hodges. Hold up there. 5 seconds 4. Shot just gets deflected on the way through. Actually, when it deflected into the netting, 1.8. 1.8. The puck goes out of play, and there'll be 1.8 seconds left. For those of you who are telling me to just let the internet issues go, I will, but at the same time, I want to try to provide a quality product for each and every one of you and to try to give my best. So, nonetheless, now second will be added back on, 2.8. Yeah, and to be honest, I thought it was a little weird that the clock kept rolling. Nonetheless, 2.8, 1:42 left, and the Pusateri penalty for head contact was the call. Of course, a big hello to Matt Nelson listening in, longtime Mudbugs hockey fan, and they'll head to the dressing rooms. The Wranglers did win that faceoff, but nonetheless, Mudbugs won. Wranglers nothing off the goal from Evan Hoagland that had to be looked at twice, actually. Had to be looked at twice, but nonetheless, Hoagland with the goal. Of course, it'll be the start of the North Caddo Express Loop first intermission show. Of course, this first intermission is powered to you by our friends at North Caddo Express Loop in Vivian. They offer oil changes, inspection stickers, transmission services, and vehicle batteries, and key fob batteries as well. Mention the discount code MUDBUGS25 and get 10% off your service. Once again, that's MUDBUGS25 and get 10% off of your service. Call them at 318-375-5823 for more information. All right. Well, all things considered, Mudbugs won. Wranglers nothing as we go into the first iteration. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network. We'll be back in a moment.
Hey, this is Chet Yoder, voice of the Mudbugs. DeFada and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional private investigations for over 20 years. They offer a full range of services to both individuals and businesses. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or you suspect an internal theft problem with your business, DeFada and Associates has the experience, training, and knowledge to get you the information you need. Call Jerry today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defadapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Welcome back to the North Caddo Express Loop First Intermission Show. I'm Duncan Welker. Now joining me is Mudbugs defenseman number 4, Johnny Burnett. Johnny, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. So, Johnny, last week in Lone Star, 3 goals on the weekend, two of those coming from Saturday night's 3-2 win against the aforementioned Lone Star Brahmas. And you were burning up the game, weren't you?
Yeah, I guess. Just happy to help the boys get a win.
Oh, absolutely. Of course, pardon the pun there. So, moving on to this weekend, we got the Amarillo Wranglers, of course. They're coached by one Michael Hale, former Mudbugs assistant coach, I should add. Of course, we saw them back opening weekend, back in September, at Georgia's Blindside Hirsch Coliseum. But one thing I've noticed about, well, really both teams actually, but especially us, we're a different team. We're a different team. We're a much, much, much different team than we were back in September. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. We're definitely shaping up to be a good team, and we're figuring things out as we go along.
Absolutely. And, of course, the aforementioned 3-goal weekend for me definitely helps things on that effort. Of course, a lot of goals. Actually, a lot of Mudbugs are getting their first goals, actually. Remy Pusateri got his first on the year.
Yeah.
And so did Jeremiah Roberts. Of course, Remy's came on Friday night. Jeremiah's came on Saturday night. But I'm going to put the Lone Star series on the back burner. We're going to move into this weekend. So what is the word going for this? Not going forward, but going out about this Amarillo team that's different than the last time we saw them back in September?
I mean, we're definitely just better as a group that we were at the start of the year, figuring things out as we go. And, we're just we got to play heavy and fast like the team that we are, and we just got to outwork them.
I was about to say, would you say fast, heavy, and connected?
Definitely.
I was about to say, like the Mats in the locker room. Joining me is Mudbugs defenseman number 4, Johnny Burns. So, Johnny, I was about to say, what is the weirdest nickname you've ever been called? Now, I did give an aforementioned pun not only in the broadcast last week, but also just a few minutes ago. But what's the weirdest name? What's the weirdest nickname you've ever been called? Actually, I'm a little curious.
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with what Soup and Smitty gave me. Barnyard. I don't even.
Barnyard is crazy.
Barnyard Bernie. I don't even know where that came
Barnyard
from.
Bernie. You know what? You probably shouldn't have told me that. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Okay, so Bernie, moving on now. It is the holiday season. Of course, it's the Christmas holiday season, to be in fact. Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Cyber Monday, all the good ones are in the back burner, and Christmas time is almost approaching, actually. Of course, what's the one thing you want for Christmas this year?
Honestly, I'm a big weightlifter, so I kind of want a barbell and some plates.
Barbell and plates?
Back in my house.
Yeah, you gotta get a new set.
Yeah.
All right. I was about to say, what's your max on? Let's go with deadlift.
Deadlift right now 435.
435. Wow. Dang, been hitting the weight room. And I'm about to say, and some of the hits you're able to deliver definitely, I think, reflects on that, actually.
Oh,
yeah. So, and I'm going to ask you one more thing on that. On the subject of weightlifting, what's your max on bench press?
Bench press, 275.
275. That's not bad.
Yeah.
That is not bad. I know a lot of people who has a lot of upper strength, but not a lot of, like upper, like,
Yeah.
You get it. All right. So moving on, of course, one of the main things I noticed from you last week is that, and not only from you, but also from a lot of this Mudbugs team, is they're getting that 1% better that Remy Pusateri said. Actually, at the beginning of the year, he wants to see each and every guy get that 1% better. And something I want to focus on is, what's the one thing you have gotten 1% better on this season as it's been going along?
Definitely my defensive skills. As a more offensive guy, I struggle a bit in the D zone, but definitely getting 1% better every day at that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you like to think of yourself more as an offensive defenseman. So yeah. I was about to say your numbers definitely do reflect that, at least from what I've seen. Yeah. But yeah. All right, Johnny, I'm gonna ask you two more things, and I'm gonna let you get going here. So, like I mentioned, we are coming in against this Amarillo team. Of course, they have shifted all around in the standings, and so have we, but they've shifted down to the bottom. But what's the one thing that Soupy and Smitty have told you about these guys that you want people to know about them?
I mean, they're a fast, heavy team. They're pretty comparable to us, and then, we just have to be ready to play them. Anybody can win at any time. There's not a specific thing to be ready for with any specific team. You just got to come out to play every day.
Absolutely. All right, Johnny, one last thing, and then I'm going to let you get going here. So, let's say, do you have anybody you want to shout out? I mean, Ty Easton last weekend shouted out his boys from back home in British Columbia. And do you have anybody you want to say hello to?
Shout out my family back at home watching. My mom, my dad, and my grandma.
Nice family shout out from one, Johnny Brand. Well, Johnny, thank you for joining me here on this brief North Caddo Express Loop first intermission show interview, actually. It's always good to talk to you. Well, hopefully we'll get to talk to you once again later on throughout the season. And we'll be back with more after these messages in the North Caddo Express Loop first intermission show. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
As a business owner, you know it's important to stay ahead of your competition to succeed. One dishonest employee providing poor customer service can send your business to the penalty box. DeFata & Associates has over 20 years of investigative experience that can help you monitor your employees and investigate losses that may be keeping you from reaching your goals. Whether you need GPS tracking, investigative shopping, integrity testing, or you're experiencing losses caused by theft, DeFata & Associates can help. Give them a call at 318-635-9944 or check out their website at defatapi.com for more information.
Welcome back inside the bullpen here in Amarillo, Texas. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Of course, Mudbugs will be on the first choice personnel penalty kill when we come back. Minute 39 left in the head contact penalty to number 6, Remy Pusateri. And of course, big thank you to Johnny Burnt for joining me on the North Caddo Express Loop first iteration show. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Shreveport Regional Airport first intermission scoreboard update, powered to you by our friends at the Shreveport Regional Airport. Join me as we fly around the world of sports. Firstly, we're going to take a look at some North American Hockey League scores going on around the rest of the league tonight. But before we do, I'd like to once again firmly apologize to each and every Mudbug fan who went to Buffalo Wild Wings tonight on airline, internet issues, and I do mean hardline internet issues here in Amarillo have made our feed, our away audio feed, almost impossible. At least that's the word coming out from my sources with the league as well as here in Amarillo. So, once again, I apologize for that. And to anyone on the YouTube feed, been a fun one, nonetheless. But mainly, let's take a look at the scores going on in the rest of the North American Hockey League action going on tonight. Firstly, starting in the South Division, El Paso and Oklahoma, at least right now it's being reported as 0-0 all. Of course, we'll have to find out once. Okay, now we're loaded. Sorry. All right, let's restart this time. Oklahoma leads El Paso 2-1. Of course, here in Amarillo, forced to have it there. Of course, here in Amarillo, it's 1-0 Mudbugs off the goal from Evan Hoagland that had to be reviewed not once but twice. But all that matters is that one goal on the board from Mr. Hoagland. Moving on, Corpus Christi and Odessa, they're tied 2-2 there. And New Mexico have a lead on Lone Star, 2-0. That game going into the first intermission. Now through on to the rest of the North American Hockey League action. New Jersey, they currently have a lead on the Rochester Junior Americans, 4-3. Elmira, the Aviators, and the Maryland Black Bears, that game is in favor of the Aviators, 4-2. The Maine Nordiques have a lead on the Johnstown Tomahawks, 1-0. The Northeast Generals have a lead on the Philadelphia Rebels, 2-1. The Janesville Jets and the Chippewa Steel, that game in the second period is in favor of the Janesville Jets. 8 minutes left in the second there. The St. Cloud Norsemen have a 1-0 lead on the Aberdeen Wings with 12:45 left in their game, second period. Minnesota, they have a 2-1 lead on the Minot Minotauros with 7 minutes left in their second period. There, the Kenai River Brown Bears, they have a 3-2 lead over the Springfield Junior Blues, their game in the second period as well. The Austin Bruins have a 1-0 lead over the Bismarck Bobcats. That game just going into the first intermission there. The Watertown Shamrocks have a 1-0 lead over the North Iowa Bulls. 13:05 left there. And, of course, the Minnesota Wilderness have a lead on the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, 3-0. That game going into the first intermission there. And, of course, one game actually going final. I did not see this just a second ago. The Hat Tricks, Danbury, they defeat the New Hampshire Mountain Kings 5-1. Now let's take a look at some scores across the sporting world. Of course, it is college football conference championship week. Of course, JMU and Troy in favor of JMU, James Madison, and Tulane, who is expected to hire the LSU defensive coordinator. At least that's the rumor. They have a lead on the University of North Texas, 14-7. Of course, the rest of the conference championship games. Kennesaw State, 10-0 on the Gamecocks from Jacksonville State. Boise State, 21-0 over UNLV. That's all the college football action for tonight. Of course, there'll be some tomorrow, including the SEC Championship, Georgia and Alabama, as well as Indiana and Ohio State in the Big Ten Championship, ACC Championship, Duke and Virginia. Big expectations from Duke. Big expectations. Moving along, Big 12, BYU and the Texas Tech University Red Raiders. That'll be at 11 a.m. Pac-12 actually went final last week because there's only two members. Washington State, the Cougars defeated Oregon State 32-8. They actually split the Pac-12 championship. Mountain West Conference, as I mentioned, Boise State 21-0. Conference USA, that's Kennesaw State and Jacksonville State. And in the MAC, later on tomorrow, Miami of Ohio will take on Western Michigan. The AAC, Tulane and University of North Texas, 14-7. And then the Sun Belt, that's JMU taking on Troy, 17-14. Now we're going to move on to some NHL action. The Golden Knights, 1-0 over the Devils. Jets, 3-1 over the Sabres. Stars, 1-0 over, apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I got distracted by the interesting remix of John Deere Green, but I'm going to leave that for later. The Dallas Stars, 1-0 over the Sharks. Utah Mammoth and Vancouver Canucks just getting underway. One game still on the docket for the NHL. Capitals and Ducks starting at 9. NBA action, the Celtics have a lead over the Lakers 113-90. The Magic have a 195 lead over the Heat. Hawks and Nuggets 91-86 in favor of the Hawks from Atlanta. Cavaliers 92-81 there in, I believe, Cleveland tonight. Could be wrong. Moving along. Pistons 68, Blazers 60, Knicks 89, Jazz 65, Hornets 64, Raptors 59, and then the Pacers have a lead on the Bulls 62-57. So for those of you who are able to hear, I'm sorry. This is interesting. So for those of you who are able to hear that little snippet, it's a remix of John Deere Green, and that interesting stuff. All right. Now let's tell you how we got to this 1-0 Mudbugs lead. Of course, the goal coming from Evan Hoagland, which reminder had to be reviewed not once but twice by North American Hockey League officials. But it was reviewed twice, and it was in the favor of the Mudbugs. Evan Hoagland with the assist coming from Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts. Good stuff there. Sorry, 1 second, ladies and gentlemen. Apologies for the brief interruption. Just was further informed of the internet issues going on here in Amarillo. So once again, the YouTube audio feed will be the only way this game will be streamed, to put it bluntly. Let's put it like that. Hopefully those issues are somewhat resolved and everything can be fixed one way or the other. So now let's get back to this game recap. Evan Hoagland from Grayson Gerhard, Jeremiah Roberts, 5:45 first period. Only goal we got so far. Penalty-wise, it's even Cruz Smith for a hooking and Landon Poe for a tripping for the Wranglers. And then for the Mudbugs, Jacob Sock and Remy Pusateri. Pusateri still serving the head contact minor. In terms of goaltending, Tyler Hodges following up on his excellent performance from last week. 8 for 8 in terms of saves. And then Charles-Antoine Girard, 6 for 7 on the night so far. All right. Well, I apologize, not both coaching staffs. The Mudbugs coaching, training, and equipment staff is now back out onto the ice. Wranglers come back out onto the ice. Mudbugs are making their way down the long tunnel stretch here in Amarillo. It's a long walk, and now out comes Tyler Hodges and the rest of the Shreveport Mudbugs. So, once again, let's get everybody caught up to speed here before we go into this second period. First goal coming from Evan Hoagland at 5:45 in the first period. Assist coming from Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts. Shots-wise, in advantage of the Wranglers by just one shot. Remy Pusateri will get back into the box, and he will serve the rest of his. Okay, apparently I'm low elsewhere. I do appreciate the feedback and advice from all parts of the United States, Canada, and, well, wherever else you may be listening to us tonight. Do appreciate the feedback, and, of course, one person giving feedback is my sister Annie Welker, and, of course, my mother Tanya Welker. Appreciate that nonetheless. We're going to get back to action here in a minute. Mudbugs going over to their gold center, Tyler Hodges. And like I mentioned, Tyler Hodges has stood on his head the last two games. I was going to say last three, but Ethan Phillips had gotten the start on that Saturday night in in Shreveport. Will be in El Paso next weekend. All right. Well, second period action is coming up in a matter of seconds. And right now, Bugs able to get that puck into the Wranglers zone. Well, it will be collected by Cruz Smith there for the Wranglers. 1:30 left on the Pusateri penalty. Mudbugs are still on the first choice personnel penalty kill. And that'll be Izadi now. Izadi get it on in now to the Mudbug zone. Bounce it back around, and where it will be taken by Evan Adams. He tried to clear it, and Rasega, but now it will be cleared out of the Mudbug zone. Good stuff there. That'll be number 93, Caden Higardi, but now it's on the stick of number 77, Rasega, one of the leading point scorers for the Wranglers, but he gets his pocket picked by Mitchell Reed, and it'll be cleared down the ice. Good stuff there from the Bugs. 55 seconds left on the Pusateri penalty. Now, Wranglers now with it. They have numbers. Good glove save there from Tyler Hodges off the shot of number 10, Jake Boulanze. So it is Jake Boulanze with the shot, and it got on to the glove of Tyler Hodges. This second period is brought to you by our friends at DeFata and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services. Personal matters, child custody cases, internal theft problems within your business. Just call our main man, Jerry DeFata, at 318-635-9944 to discuss your case, or log on to DeFataPI.com. Wranglers still have possession of the puck in the zone. Owen Case now gets a stick on it. He's able to get free of the coverage, and he'll just bounce it on down to the net of Girard. And Hedquist now will quarterback the play for the Wranglers. He'll give it off to number 5, Tiernan O'Rourke. O'Rourke now for Gentler. Gentler trying to find somebody, but he goes onto the stick of Duke Earhart, and he'll just get it back on down to the ice. And now O'Rourke will take it back himself, and he'll give it off there. And now find Gentler down on the left-hand side here. Get some contact from Liam Wolf-Tulby, and now O'Rourke shot, and it'll get off the stick of Tyler Hodges and into the netting. 2 seconds left on the Pusateri penalty. So, barring anything, a very successful penalty kill from the Mudbugs. Once again, of course, I talked to Brett Smith about this penalty kill. Been excellent so far, all things considered. Last week was a very excellent challenge from this Mudbugs penalty kill. Good stuff there. 18:22 left in this second period. Shots are 10-7 in favor of the Wranglers. Vinny DiUlio taking the face-off for the Mudbugs. Mudbugs do win that face-off. Penalty has been killed. Excellent stuff there from the first-choice personnel penalty kill. Puck will bounce in and out of the bench of the Wranglers. Okay, well, Mudbugs Hockey tonight is brought to you by Johnny's Pizza House. Johnny's Pizza House, let's share a slice of the best pizza in town, as well as Coors Light. Coors Light, made to chill. Now faceoff will be just in front of the Wranglers bench. Mudbugs do win that faceoff. Pusateri out of the box. Fresh out of the box, rather. He'll bounce it on in. And now find somebody in front. That was Gerhard. Tried to get a stick on it and get it past Girard, shot, and it just bounces off the glove of the aforementioned Girard. Now Hoagland, he'll bounce it around. Poloni will try to keep it in, but he realized last second he wasn't able to keep it in. Skate back out now. Poloni for Pusateri. Pusateri will try to find Hoagland. It just went in and out. Now puck, and it will be called offsides. Puck got tangled up in some skates of Mudbugs and Wranglers, and it will be called offsides nonetheless. 17:39 left in this second period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Of course, that goal coming from Evan Hoagland back in the first period. And like I mentioned, it had to be reviewed twice for it to be called a good goal. Faceoff will be in front of the Mudbugs bench. Wranglers with a false start, and yeah, I don't blame them. Wranglers will be kicked out now, and Mudbugs will win that faceoff. That was a heck of a false start. O'Rourke got a puck to the pants, tried to get it on in. Puck will go down to the length of the ice. That'll be icing. Of course, all icings are brought to you by our friends at Louder's Baking Company. Thank you to Louder's Baking Company once again for being the brand newest corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. Once again, thank you to Louder's Baking Company. Faceoff will be to the left of Girard. Liam Wolf-Tulby will take that faceoff. Mudbugs had it, but Wranglers take it back. Now Johnny Burnt had to backhand it on in. Jason Krisky will take it. He'll go on in through the neutral zone, but he'll circle back around, not fully through the neutral zone, though. Liam Wolf-Tulby, and he'll roll on to the stick and pads of one Charles-Antoine Girard, and that'll be a whistle. Of course, a big hello to all the Claws Up boosters listening tonight to this broadcast. Big hello to them. Of course, we couldn't do it without your support in everything we do here. And as well, once again, thank you to the Claws Up boosters for not only listening to tonight's broadcast, but for everything you do for this Shreveport Mudbugs hockey team. Face-off will be to the left of Girard. Semango will take that face-off, but the Wranglers able to win it. Dolan Hill feeds it off. Mudbugs come back up with it. Burnt now. It bounces off the skate of one Zukalis. Semango now able to find it. It just gets turned back over to the Wranglers. Now Wranglers come back out with it. They'll blam it on into the zone of the Mudbugs. Johnny Burnt getting some contact there. Owen Case now trying to get clean possession of it. Jonah Jasser does. He gives it off to Duke Earhart. Earhart up the left-hand side. Finds Joe Semango. Semango stops and starts. He's trying to get a stick back on it, but it'll get turned over to the Wranglers. But Jonah Jasser will find it first. So, nonetheless now, and shot from Jasser just goes off the side of the cage of Girard. Adams there with some contact to stop what the Wranglers forward there. That's number 7. Lupo, now Hedquist, bounces it on in. Reed will backhand it around. Evan Adams trying to get to it before Williams does. Williams for the Wranglers. That's number 17, Carter Williams. Now a bit of a battle down on here on the boards, but Mudbugs come up with it cleanly. That's Mitchell Reed. He'll give it off, or tried to give it off rather, to Jared Greiner, but Wranglers able to get it off and intercept it. It's rolled on into the Mudbug zone. Willie Tremblay trying to get some wax at it, as well as Williams, the aforementioned Williams, but Mitchell Reed will come back up with it, and he'll give it off to Willie Tremblay. Tremblay gave it off to Greiner, but Greiner lost possession. Puck will roll back on into the Mudbug zone. Reed will get a stick on it. And now Higardi, he lost possession of it. Now Mudbugs come back with it. Vinny DiUlio for Jared Greiner. Greiner tries to tip it on front, and it just bounces off the right-hand corner boards right over here. And now Vinny DiUlio was trying to find somebody, but Jared Greiner's able to come back and make something out of nothing. Poe now with some stick action. Greiner tried to get it up to the front, nothing doing. Out come back the Wranglers. Resega now. His pass gets deflected by Ty Easton, and now Resega still with it. Resega goes around the net. Resega shots, and a glove saved by Tyler Hodges. Good stuff there from Tyler Hodges. 14-50, sorry. My eyes were playing an optical illusion on me. Up here in the broadcast post of Amarillo, the scoreboard, at least half of it is blocked by the top of the protective netting, so plays a trick on me sometimes. But 14:50 left in this second period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Shots total right now in favor of the Wranglers, 11-10. Of course, that lone goal coming from Evan Hoagland back in the first. 5:45 in the first, I should add. Faceoff will come out to the left of Tyler Hodges, and it looks like Evan Hoagland will take that faceoff, and the Mudbugs do win that faceoff for the moment at least. Wranglers tried to get it on in, tried to backhand it and stuff it in, but nothing doing. Mudbugs with some contact. Good stuff there from Remy Pusateri. Now Jeremiah Roberts has it, and he's going to try to give it on up to Grayson Gerhardt, but he couldn't find it. And now Wranglers back in with it in the Mudbug zone. Now before some contact from Ty Easton and Remy Pusateri. Easton goes down, Hoagland loses an edge. Now Wranglers still with it. Hedquist shot and trying to find it. Still loose in front. And there is Evan Hoagland to come up with it. Back up for the Mudbugs. Jeremiah Roberts will take it. Yes, he still has possession, and it will be called offsides. Hoagland was in the zone before Roberts was who had the puck. So that will be called offsides. Mudbugs Hockey tonight is brought to you by our friends at Down Home Meats. Whether you're grilling outdoors or looking for some hearty and flavorful sausage for breakfast, preparing a gumbo platter, football party, whatever it may be, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasions. Faceoff is in front of the Mudbug zone. Mudbugs did win that faceoff, but O'Rourke now will come up with it for the Wranglers, and it'll be tipped in off the stick of number 10, Boulanze, and go down for icing. So, stuff there. Once again, Down Home Meats has the perfect sausage for all occasions. Thank you to Down Home Meats for sponsoring Shreveport Mudbugs hockey tonight. Face-off now will come out to the right of one, Charles-Antoine Girard. Liam Wolf-Talby will take that face-off. And O'Rourke will come up with it for the Wranglers. And Poloni had it, but then lost possession. And now Wranglers trying to find something. And Owen Case with a poke check. Jake Stock with it now. He'll go up through the neutral zone. Stock tried to make a move there, and it just got poke checked by the aforementioned O'Rourke. But Talby finds it in front, and it's bouncing in front. And it's covered up by Girard. The puck was thrown in front. Liam Wolf-Talby with the shot. It was loose for a second, but then covered up by one, Mr. Girard. 13:36 left in the second period. Birthday parties, corporate get-togethers, school trips, and any other private events. Call us at George's Pond and call them at 318-636-7094. Tried to recover that at least. Of course, we do have a special ticketing offer for these next few home games. I'll tell you about that very shortly. Mudbugs do win that faceoff. Johnny Byrne now comes up with it. It's blocked away by Girard. Wranglers will take it back behind their own net. They'll give it off for Lupo, but it's taken back by Remy Pusateri. Johnny Jasser will blame it on into the Wranglers zone there. Wranglers trying to find it. So are the Mudbugs, but Earhart comes up with it. Duke Earhart, he almost gets his pocket picked rather. Jasser gets battled on there by one, number 6, Poe. Now, Wranglers trying to find a clear possession of it. So are the Mudbugs. And Mudbugs do find that clear possession. Johnny Burnt now backhand passes it off to Duke Earhart. He tried to find somebody, but was able to get at least a clear train of thought there. But Wranglers do come back up with it, but not before Johnny Burnt keeps it in the Mudbug zone. And unfortunately, it'll go back out. Wranglers will throw it on down. And where it'll be taken by Rem Pusateri, who backhands it off to Johnny Burnt. Burnt now for Willie Tremblay. Tremblay keeps himself out of damage and gives it off to Johnny Burnt. Burnt will just poke it on in there. The Wranglers zone. Puck rolled onto the net of Girard. And Wranglers will come back out with it. Now Tremblay in a foot race with, I believe, that was number 93, Caden Higardi. And now the puck will get thrown down the ice. And it'll be icing, but Mudbugs don't believe so, and I don't really believe so either. I believe Vinny DiUlio, had a slight edge. Had a slight edge there, but that is why I'm not a referee, folks. That is why I'm not a referee. But, of course, we thank you for tuning in to the Shreveport Mudbugs hockey broadcast. Unfortunately, our NATV audio feed unfortunately went down, at least for the moment and at least for the night. But if you're still listening on YouTube, we thank you nonetheless. Wranglers win that faceoff. O'Rourke shot bounces off the cage, still loose, and now Remy Pusateri will take it. He'll try to throw it on down, but it gets intercepted by Dolan. Now a penalty will be called. Oh, okay. Penalty will be called. It looks like on the Wranglers. Yes, it is. Be a penalty on Amarillo's. Look, I see a 5. Number 15. The penalty will be on number 15 for slashing. That number 15 is Tyler Sukalis. 2 minutes for slashing. So the Mudbugs will be on the Scott Powerline power play for the next 2 minutes. 11:59 left in this second period. Faceoff will go out to the right of Girard. Mudbugs do win that faceoff, and that will be Grayson Gerhard now for Adams. Adams back for Gerhard, and Wranglers able to backhand it on out of their own zone. Now Gerhard will take it, and he'll find Evan Adams on the backhand. Now Evan Adams finds Jared Greiner. Greiner holding it while getting some contact from some Wranglers. Wranglers still trying to battle for clear possession of the puck in front of the Mudbugs bench. Now still battling some more. And I believe that was Vinny DiUlio. No, that was not. Excuse me, that was Joe Samango. Samango took a shot in front of the Mudbugs bench. I said Vinny DiUlio first because He stood up before Joe Semango did. Nonetheless, Semango, the aforementioned Semango, tried to find Jonah Jasser. Bounced off his skates. Now Amarillo still with it in the Mudbug zone. Shot, and it just goes into the equipment of Tyler Hodges. Good stuff there from Tyler Hodges to recover. Good stuff on the Mudbugs defense to actually recover. So, yeah. 1:08 left in the penalty to one. Sukalis, as it was for slashing. Again, that's 1:08 left in the Sukalis penalty. 11:07 in the second period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Faceoff will be out to the, looks like the right-hand side of Tyler Hodges. And Evan Hogan will take the faceoff. There's a bit of a holdup on the Amarillo bench. Michael Hill discussing some things. I believe that's Michael Hill. Him and one Lucas Stern look a little similarly dressed. Oh, it looks like there's something going on with Amarillo medical personnel. One Lisa Johnson. Referees are discussing what's going on there. Bit of a brief break for the two teams. And, of course, ask about our group rates for any future home games for, well, yeah, any home game this season. In it for any group 10 or more. It's $10 a ticket. Cost to book your group at 318-636-7094. Or just email our director of ticket sales, one Mason Sprott, as well. Of course, I mentioned that special ticket offer, and I'm going to mention to it right now here real quick. For the next few home games, $55 will get you 5 tickets, 5 pregame skate passes, and hot chocolate as well. Mudbugs do win that face-off. Have to fill you in all on the full details of that special ticketing offer. Now, Johnny Byrne will give it back to Duke Earhart. 55 seconds left on that Amarillo penalty. Mudbugs still on the Scott Powerline power play. And now Hoagland and now Amarillo will come back up with it. They'll slam it down the length of the ice. Burnt tried to grab it, and he got some contact on there from Lizzotti. Mudbugs do take it back behind there on that. That's Duke Earhart. Gives it off for Jake Stock. 33 seconds left in that penalty to one number 15, Tyler Tsukakis. And now Duke Earhart enters the Amarillo zone. Earhart still with possession of the puck, even with some battles from Amarillo, and he just lost the puck. But Jeremiah Roberts comes up with it. And now Amarillo trying to find that shorthanded possession, and they do. Resega with a shot into the equipment of Tyler Hodges. Lizzotti getting some words and some pushing and shoving. Duke Earhart getting in there with Lizzotti. Some additional contact there from Duke Earhart, and he'll go to the box now. And so will Lizzotti. So will Lizzotti. Looks like it'll be a brief 4-on-3 at least right now. So their referees are discussing, and it looked like they'll actually call fighting on that. Of course, now referees going over to both coaches right now and discussing what's going on. Well, we have a moment. I'm going to fill you guys back in on that special ticketing offer for our next several home games. To be more precise, the one on the 19th, 20th, 26th, and 27th. So once again, $55 will get you 5 tickets to any of those games of your choosing, pregame skate passes for those games, as well as hot chocolate for any of those games. And if you need more tickets as part of that, just call us at 318-636-7094 for more. Of course, it's only $5 per ticket. Once again, that's 318-636-7094 if you need to add a ticket to that deal. Okay, so Duke Earhart will be sitting in the box, as well as Sukalis for Amarillo. I believe fighting will be the call there. Yes, it will. Actually, for Lizzotti, it'll be unsportsmanlike conduct. So there's 7 seconds left on the Sukalis penalty. now. 5 seconds left on that 2 cause penalty. Wranglers did win that faceoff. Earhard with a 2-minute roughing minor. All right. Well, Remy Pusateri now will take it and gives it, and Jasser still with it, or had a, okay, got a little confused there. Jasser had it in his equipment, fell down, but the ref calls a hand pass. Got a little messed up there. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen. 9:46 left in the second period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Of course, we'll take a brief timeout, and we'll be back with more second period action. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey on the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Hey, this is Chet Yoder, voice of the Mudbugs. DeFada and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional private investigations for over 20 years. They offer a full range of services to both individuals and businesses. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or you suspect an internal theft problem with your business, DeFada and Associates has the experience, training, and knowledge to get you the information you need. Call Jerry today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defadapi.com. As a business owner, you know it's important to stay ahead of your competition to succeed. One dishonest employee providing poor customer service can send your business to the penalty box. DeFada and Associates has over 20 years of investigative experience that can help you monitor your employees and investigate losses that may be keeping you from reaching your goals. Whether you need GPS tracking, investigative shopping, integrity testing, or you're experiencing losses caused by theft, DeFada and Associates can help. Give them a call at 318-635-9944 or check out their website at defadapi.com for more information.
Welcome back into the bullpen. Mudbugs do win that faceoff, but taken away there by Amarillo. Sakrisky with an interception. Good stuff there from Chase Sakrisky, who'll give it off for Ty Easton. Stock, it just went through the stick of Stock, rather. Try saying that 5 times fast. Go down for the length of icing, and icing will be called, but I believe Michael Hill doesn't like that call, but that's why he's not a ref. That's why I'm not a ref, and that's why everybody in this building, well, except for the 3 referees on the ice, are not referees. Face-off now will come out to the left of Charles Antoine Girard. Mudbugs do win that face-off. Owen Case with it now. Case makes a move, try to find Evan Hoagland in front. Evan Hoagland will get possession on that puck after he got broken up there. Poloni now trying to get his stick on it, and after some contact, he does actually get a stick on it. He'll bounce around the net, bounce around the back of the net, rather. Now Jeremiah Roberts trying to get it on, and he does, and he'll bounce it around the back of the net of Girard. Now try to find Evan Hoagland. Was Nador Poloni. Now Grayson Gerhard will come up with it, the former Amarillo Wrangler. Evan Hoagland trying to find a shot and goes into the glove of Charles Antoine Girard. Okay. So it bounced off and around the boards of, rather in the Wranglers zone, landed on the stick of Evan Hoagland. He shot it, and it just landed in the glove of one Mr. Girard. Either that or it just got in his skates. Either way, puck was saved. Faceoff will come out to the left of the aforementioned Girard. Lamolf Talby will take that faceoff. Wranglers do win that faceoff. Now Poe will take it from his own zone, and it'll go down for the length of the ice. No icing is called. I believe it looked like it got tipped in front. Now Amarillo, that's number 18. Tried to find it in front. Poe shot, just goes wide. Now Mudbugs take it, try to take it back, and they do. Jasser now tries to find Liam Wolf Talby. Bounce it off the boards. Wolf Talby going to battle on with an Amarillo man, but he gets nothing, and now Amarillo comes back out with it from their zone. Smith now, he's going to take it in, out, and he gives it to Resega. Resega for number 18 shot, and it's in the equipment of one Tyler Hodges. Of course, that number 18 for the Amarillo Wranglers is Dominic, and I'm going to get this pronunciation right, Damo Kajevs. Fun stuff. Dominic Damo Kajevs from Riga, Latvia. And speaking of Latvian hockey players, if one Carlos Ernest is listening, big hello from the Mudbugs family, former Mudbugs player and former Mudbugs, almost said assistant coach, former Mudbugs head coach. Wranglers win the faceoff now. and that is Raskin now had a stick on it. After some contact, Mudbugs come back up with it. That's Jared Griner, and his puck will roll off for Remy Pusateri. Pusateri will give it back to Jared Griner. Griner now stick handling with some contact from a Wrangler. Good hit there by the aforementioned Jared Griner, but Amarillo still with it. Raskin for Balanze. Puck still loose in front. Tremblay shoots it up, and it comes right down. I thought it was going to go into the scaffolding. A lot of people did here at the bullpen. Wranglers take it back now. Now Balanze now with Raskin on his right. Balanze off the pads of Tyler Hodges. Now Mudbugs take it back. That's number 17, Nando Polonier. And his pass will get swallowed up by Balanze. Now Willie Tremblay comes out with it. Jared Griner comes now away with it. Shot off the pads of one Gerard. Now that pass is intercepted by Owen Case. Owen Case gets held up there, but nonetheless, Chase Christie. Okay, offsides, I believe. Yes, it is. Offsides is a call. It was a bit of a delayed offsides call. And when I say delayed offsides, I don't mean delayed offside as in and out, but like it was delayed as in like timing-wise, if that makes sense. 7:12 left in the second period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Of course, that goal coming from Evan Hoagland back in the first period. Of course, this coming from Grayson Gerhard, and 1, Jeremiah Roberts. Wranglers win the face-off, and now and that'll go down the length of the ice. No icing as it was deflected. Owen Case now will find Liam Wolf-Tulby, or at least tried to. Shot from the right blue line, from the right side of the blue line, and it's intercepted by Lupo. Mudbugs try to clear the zone now, and now Williams with it. Williams stick handling alongside and battling Owen Case, and the net comes off its moorings. The net came off its moorings while Amarillo was trying to stick handle it and find a clear opportunity there. That came the net of Tyler Hodges, I should add. 6:50 left in this second period. Shots are in favor of the Wranglers, 16-13. So, stuff there from the Wranglers. Faceoff will come out to the left of one Tyler Hodges. Wranglers do win that face-off now, and it's intercepted by Jake Stock, but his clearing attempt gets blocked on there by the Wranglers, but it'll trickle on out of the zone. Smith will pick it up for the Wranglers. Now that'll be number 6, Landon Poe. Tried to dump it in the zone. I believe it got deflected off by Owen Case. Sakrisky trying to find it. Shot from the point gets blocked away by Tyler Hodges. Mudbugs come back up and away with it now. Stock able to get it in and not get Chase Sakrisky called offside. Resega now tried to get through. Johnny Burnt couldn't do it. Puck will get on in to the Amarillo zone. Poe will throw it on back into the Mudbugs zone, but not before, or rather after. And now Jeremiah Roberts. Roberts trying to make a move in front, and he gets battled on there. Puck still loose in front. Grayson Gerhard now has it. Now Evan Hoagland trying to bounce it around the boards. Got blocked off a skate of an official there. He tried to find Grayson Gerhard in front. The net of Girard comes off. You know, I'll say one thing. Hockey is a very fast-moving game, and trying to keep up with it sometimes, especially when you're on a radio feed, is always fun. I'll put it like that. So, hopefully, wherever you are, thank you for tuning in to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey tonight. Of course, Mudbugs are up 1-0 on the Amarillo Wranglers. Evan Hoagland now will win that faceoff for the Mudbugs, but it'll just bounce out of the Wranglers zone. Girard will leave it for Smith. Smith going to hold it. That's number 27 for the Wranglers. 27 Smith, and now Tsoukalis now. Tsoukalis with Dalton on his right, on his left. Still nothing doing. And now from Hedquist, and now Hoagland comes up. Hoagland tries to make a move there. Nothing doing. Wranglers come back up with it. Hedquist now to number 15, Tsoukalis. Tsoukalis trying to make something happen there. He gets battled on by Ty Easton. Dolan now over in the right-hand corner. Remy Pusateri went down. He's back up on his feet, though. Now Jeremiah Roberts off a puck bouncing off the half wall. Tried to find it, nothing doing. Gentler had it, and then got turned over. Now, no, it was deflected. About right at the blue line. Mudbugs still keep it. Puck bouncing front. And now Wranglers will take it back. No. Wranglers now back with it. Dolan now for Gentler. Gentler through the neutral zone. He backhands it on in into the Mudbug zone. Now some battling on there by Mudbugs and Wranglers, but Wranglers come up with clear possession. Last Lupo. Lupo turned around. Now Thornton trying to find somebody in front. It's loose in front. Battles front, left, right. Mudbugs come away with it. Lupo with a hit on Owen Case. But good stuff there from the Mudbugs defense and Tyler Hodges to keep it out of the back of the net. Good stuff there. Now Semengo will find Duke Earhart. Duke Earhart going to throw it on in to the left-hand side of Gerard Jasser. It bounced off the cage. Jasser still with it. And good stuff there from Jasser to swat at it, keep it in. Evan Adams, it'll bounce off the side of the cage. Semengo tries to find somebody in front, nothing doing. Jasser was trying to find the shot. Earhart too. Semengo, okay. Hand pass is called. So the hand pass is called. So while all that was going on, a hand pass was waiting to be called. 3:52 in this second period. Of course, Mudbugs hockey is brought to you by our friends, as well as the second period is brought to you by our friends at DeFata and Associates, Investigative and Risk Analysis Services. Personal matters, child custody cases, internal theft problems within your business. Just call our main man, Jerry DeFata, at 318-635-9944 to discuss your case, or by logging onto their website at defatapi.com. Mudbugs Hockey tonight is also brought to you by our friends at ETBU, that's East Texas Baptist University, Coca-Cola, Fleet Pride, Graph Orthodontics, and McKay Consulting. Face-off will be to the right of Gerard. Now referees discussing with Michael Hill what's going on. Vinny DiUlio now will take the face-off for the Bugs. Bugs doing that face-off. Tremblay shot off the glove of Gerard. Puck still bouncing in front. Griner tried to backhand it in, and now Tremblay will take it. And he'll leave it off for Owen Case now. Owen Case now. Nice to get it on in. He gets a stick and pokes out. Well, that'll be Nandor Polonier coming up with it. He slaps it. He slaps it, but not as hard slap. Nonetheless, Amarillo. Now Mudbugs trying to find possession. It's going back and forth. Tremblay trying to find somebody in front, and it's intercepted by the Wranglers. Wranglers now will throw it on down into the left-hand side of Tyler Hodges, left-hand corner of Tyler Hodges. Shot in front. Puck still bouncing loose, and nonetheless, it's covered up by Tyler Hodges. Good stuff from Tyler Hodges. That's the main theme of this game. Tyler Hodges keeping the Mudbugs up 1 in this hockey game. That's the main theme. Let's just put it like that. Of course, the goal also matters. The goal coming from one Evan Hoagland, and assisting on that goal was Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts. But Tyler Hodges, who, by the way, is the subject of my second intermission conversation. Of course, that is brought to you by our friends at Sonic Drive-In. Sonic Drive-In, this is how we Sonic. That'll be the subject of that interview there. And then after that will be the Graph Orthodontics look around the world of sports, the in-depth look at sports, I should add. Face-off off to the right of the aforementioned Hodges. Wranglers did win that face-off. Hedquist now tries to find Hagarty on the half wall here. Now, big contact on there, and it'll just roll onto the net of one. Tyler Hodges. So again, the theme is Tyler Hodges keeping the Mudbugs up 1, and that's honestly what this Mudbugs coaching staff is very much liking about Tyler Hodges. Able to keep the Bugs in games when needed. Of course, shots are 21 and 15, 21 being in favor of the Wranglers. Now face-off. And now Stock finds it, and he's trying to come up with it. He does. Stock trying to make a move around number 12. McCorster. Yes, Tavon McCorster. He tried to make a move around Tavon McCorster. Now it's battling on here in the right-hand corner, at least my right-hand corner. Equipment comes off, so Christie's glove came off. He gets it right back on. Still battling in the right-hand corner here off to my right. Kind of redundant. There, some contact left and right. Hedquist goes down. Sakrisky goes down. Hedquist with a little head pat to Sakrisky. Still trying to find clear possession here. It's battling. It's battling. Sakrisky finds it. And just gets out of that scrum. McCorster now will find it for Amarillo, but not before it's intercepted by Mitchell Reed. Sakrisky lost possession. Tried to get it from Mitchell Reed, and he lost possession. Now Amarillo going to come back out with it. It's number 14, Hayden Hedquist, the aforementioned Hayden Hedquist. Now be for Higarty. Big hit there from Mitchell Reed, the Vandala, Ohio native. Talked to his parents last week. Good stuff. And then Adams now, he's going to go with it through the neutral zone. Adams for Wolf Tolby. Shot still in front, just bounced off. And it was loose in front. Liam Wolf-Tulby now for Jeremiah Roberts. Roberts shot it, deflected on somebody in front. Might have been a Mudbug. Nonetheless, now Sakrisky will find it. Sakrisky trying to get a clear lane to get clear possession. Evan Adams will get battled on, but Amarillo comes back out with it, but not before. Dolan will get battled on there with Jeremiah Roberts. Good stuff there from Mr. Roberts. Amarillo still with it. It's going around the back of the cage of one Tyler Hodges, but not for long as Remy Pusateri comes up with it. Pusateri will circle around just briefly, and he'll give it off to Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard for Hoagland. Hoagland tried to get to somebody in front, maybe Jeremiah Roberts, but it rolls on to the net of Gerard, and now some pushing and shoving from this Mudbug and Wranglers team. What fun it is to be down there. If you're one Shreveport Mudbugs hockey team. Got a goal on this Wranglers team. And yeah, good stuff all around. Of course, there is some Mudbug fans in attendance. They're actually right behind the net of one Gerard. Of course, third period will be the net of Tyler Hodges. But nonetheless, good to see some Mudbug fans making the trip to Amarillo. Of course, I'm sure Amarillo was on their mind. But I doubt they came up from San Antone. And that's your SOG reference of the day. All right, now faceoff will come out to the left of one Mr. Gerard. Joe Semengo will take that faceoff for the Mudbugs. O'Brien trying to drop the puck. It'll be a separation of one Mr. Lupo and Jonah Jasser. Semengo still taking the faceoff. Nobody kicked out yet. Mudbugs doing that faceoff. Johnny Burnt looking for it quickly. Burnt shot, and it just goes off the blocker of Gerard. Now Mudbugs still with it, trying to put somebody in front. And Earhart with a shot. A quick shot in front. A good opportunity, but it just goes into the glove of Charles Antoine Gerard. 1:05 left in the second period. Mudbugs 1. Wranglers nothing. Shots are still in favor of the Wranglers, 21-15. Of course, here in Amarillo, they're calling that the save of the game. And, well, from an Amarillo perspective, I would have to say yes, but I digress. Amarillo does win that faceoff now. Now Johnny Burnt will. 1 minute remaining left in this second period. Jasser will slap it on in. Now, to finish my thought about Burnt. Burnt has it now. Burnt in, out, left, right, backhand. Deflects off somebody in front. Mudbugs still trying to find something late here in the second. Jasser on number 93. That is one, Caden Higgardy. Mudbugs still with it. Burnt shot, and it just deflects off a Wrangler in front. Wranglers now come back out with it. They're coming in hot. Now that's Lazzotti. Lazzotti holding, and he just shot, and it just deflected on way through. Now Johnny Burnt. Now it's in front. Regressa, and his shot goes wide. That was one heck of a turn of events. Couldn't keep my train of thought going left, right, center, back, forwards. Nonetheless, 10 seconds left in this period, and Wranglers still trying to find something late in this contest. This period, I should add. Now they'll just hold it. Regressa trying to find it, and that will be all. Mudbugs still lead 1-0 into the second period. Of course, shots total for this contest are 21-17 in favor of the Wranglers. We'll have to get those more advanced numbers coming up a little bit later on here on the start of the Sonic Drive-In second intermission show. Of course, powered to you by our friends at Sonic Drive-In. This is how we Sonic. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on the Mudbugs Audio Network.
Hey, this is Chet Yoder, voice of the Mudbugs. DeFada and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional private investigations for over 20 years. They offer a full range of services to both individuals and businesses. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or you suspect an internal theft problem with your business, DeFada and Associates has the experience, training, and knowledge to get you the information you need. Call Jerry today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defadapi.com.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Welcome back to the Sonic Drive-In Second Intermission Show. This is Airly Sonic. Now joining me is Mudbugs goaltender number 31, Tyler Hodges. Tyler, welcome back.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. So, Tyler, last weekend, an excellent performance from you against the Lone Star Brahmas. Of course, we had a weekend sweep against those Brahmas. And, of course, you had an excellent effort. Of course, on Friday night, stopping 29 of 30 shots faced your way. And Saturday night, you repeated your performance as such. So, with that in mind, we come into it this weekend against the Amarillo Wranglers. Now, one of the biggest things is we saw them back in September. Of course, that was back inside Georgia's Pond at Hertz Coliseum. But one thing I mentioned with Johnny Burnt last intermission was these two teams are very different teams than what they were back in September. Would you agree with that?
For sure, yeah.
Absolutely. So I guess my first question really is, well, I guess second technically, second question would be, what's the word going out about these Wranglers in the locker room that kind of is different from what you guys heard back in September about them?
Yeah, they're a good team. They play hard, and we just gotta stick to our systems. Kind of build consistency off last weekend and play our game, and we'll be successful.
Absolutely. So, one of the main themes I talked to you about last time was intensity, but inconsistency. But that seems to have changed in the last couple of games. The theme has been still intensity, obviously, but it's also been consistency. So, kind of flipping that inconsistency out of the way and moving into consistency, I should add. Of course, like I mentioned, with Johnny Burnt, this Amarillo Wranglers team is coached by former Mudbugs assistant coach Michael Hill, who you did not have the pleasure of being coached under. For what it's worth, and he's a decent guy and a decent coach, but obviously, yeah, that's all I got to say about him there. And I'm about to say, what has to be told you guys about him? Because obviously he's had a great relationship with him over the last, couple of years, if anything, rather.
Honestly, not much. Obviously, we know kind of the systems he works, and probably they learned off each other. So
right,
yeah, just kind of
play against your systems.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, that was kind of a basic question from me, but just wanted to get your thoughts on that. So, moving along from both the Amarillo Wranglers and Michael Hill, at least for the moment, anyways. Moving on to you. I was about to say, were those your first two ever sweeps in your hockey career?
I don't think so. I mean, I think it might have been my first sweep here in the Null, but I don't think it's my first sweep in my junior career at all.
Right. And speaking of your junior career, of course, remind me who you're staying with in terms of billet-wise?
The Dews.
The Dews. Nice people. Yeah. Very nice people. And of course, I'm a big food guy, and I think I asked you some food questions last time we talked. I believe that was in Blaine, wasn't it?
Might have been, yeah.
Yeah, it might have been in Blaine. I can't remember off the top of my head, but that was a fun interview. Nonetheless, I'm about to say, so getting back on track with the holiday season coming up, I want to know what's one of your favorite holiday foods. When I say holiday foods, I mean Christmas holiday foods.
I mean, you can't go wrong with the turkey dinner. I think it's unreal. You can't beat it. So,
turkey dinner, that's right, yeah. I was about to say, now, what's some of the Canadian Christmas traditions that you, because you are from Gormley, Ontario, so I'm a little curious about the Canadian Christmas traditions and how they differ from, obviously, the American ones.
Yeah, I mean, we've got our own little different version of, you guys call it dressing down here. We do stuffing, which is good. I like that. I mean, other than that, it's all about the same.
Right, all about the same. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Of course, Christmas is a universal holiday. So moving along, well, actually, we're going to stay on the topic of Christmas just real quick. What's the one thing you want for Christmas this year?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't really thought about it too much. I'm not a picky guy. Just hopefully my family can come down here and spend some time with them.
Oh yeah. Spend time with the family. Always a good time. I bet that when I asked Johnny Burnt that question, he said a new weight set. That'll always be him. That'll be good for him if Santa will bring him that.
Yeah.
Of course, I think one thing all Mudbug fans and Mudbug players for that matter want for Christmas is a nice big win, not only this weekend, but a nice big win that'll lead us to the playoffs into the Robinson Cup.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, deal with that. All right, so we're going to move along, and I'm going to ask you two more things, and I'm going to let you get going. What's one of the things that Rich Perrant worked with you guys on when he was down here a couple weeks ago? It's not often we get a nice, friendly visit from Rich Perrant, but when it is, he works with the goalies extensively. What's one of the things he worked on with you guys, especially?
Yeah, it was nice for him to come down and work with him for a bit. Just kind of, you know, the teachings he has, and you know, little things and how to like work with some of the plays, like coming down the wall and whatnot. So just little things like that. It helps a lot.
Yep. And I was about to say, a bit of roster news actually coming out. I mentioned this on the broadcast, but I'm going to mention it here. Of course, Alex Farron actually was able to get a call up to the Sioux City Club up in the USHL. Any words for him if he's listening tonight? If he is.
Good luck, dude, I guess. You know, he's worked hard, deserved it. So hopefully he does well. He will do well. So.
All right. Well, I'm going to ask you one last thing, and I'm going to let you get going. I guess I should preface this by saying, what's your music platform? Spotify, Apple Music? Or?
Spotify.
All right. Top 5 artists on your Spotify Wrapped, if you've seen it yet.
Yeah. Morgan Wallen was up. There was a lot of country. Morgan Wallen was there. I want to say Cody Johnson was there. Zach Bryan. I think John Party was up there. Is that 4?
That's 4, yeah.
One more. Who was the last guy? Oh, I don't know. It might have been Zach Top. I think it was Zach Top.
All right. Yeah, we'll leave it at Zach Top. So you're a country guy is what I'm getting out of that.
100%, yeah.
Okay. Well, you know what? I was about to say my Spotify rap looked a lot like my dad's, I'll be honest, because, he and I use more or less the same Spotify account. All right. Well, Tyler, it was good talking to you, and of course, hopefully this weekend will be a repeat of the last, of course, with coming out in the dub column. So, thank you once again, Tyler, for joining me, and we'll be back with more after these messages in the Sonic Drive-In Second Intermission Show. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey here on NATV and the Mudbugs Audio Network.
As a business owner, you know it's important to stay ahead of your competition to succeed. One dishonest employee providing poor customer service can send your business to the penalty box. DeFata and Associates has over 20 years of investigative experience that can help you monitor your employees and investigate losses that may be keeping you from reaching your goals. Whether you need GPS tracking, investigative shopping, integrity testing, or you're experiencing losses caused by theft, DeFata and Associates can help. Give them a call at 318-635-9944 or check out their website at defatapi.com for more information.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Welcome back inside the bullpen here in Amarillo, Texas. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers 0. We're going to take a look at how we all got here to get you some advanced numbers as well as just recap the game. Of course, the only goal so far on the night, Evan Hoagland's goal from Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts. Of course, that is the only goal on the night. But penalties-wise, it's going back and forth. Let's just put it like that. Of course, first period, 2 penalties aside for each side, actually. Almost lost my connection there, but able to get back on. Of course, we are on the Mudbugs Audio Network on YouTube. Of course, a big hello to those of you watching at Buffalo Wild Wings, listening at Buffalo Wild Wings. Of course, thank you to Derek Constantino for informing me of the scenes at Buffalo Wild Wings. And hello also to Matt Nelson, longtime Mudbugs fan, as well as Mudbugs Insider, for not only the positive re-encouragement as well as just just all that, positive re-encouragement. And also a big hello to Mudbugs honorary assistant coach Chris Delane. He's been filling me in on some scores from around the South Division. And speaking of which, we'll get to that coming up a little bit as part of the Graph Orthodontics Inside the World of Sports. But first, let's finish this game recap so far. Period-wise, first period penalties, Cruz Smith, Landon Poe for the Wranglers, Stock and Pusateri for the Mudbugs. Into the second period, Sukanis and Lizotti for the Wranglers. Of course, Tsoukalis was a slashing minor, and Lizotti for a unsportsmanlike conduct minor, Earhart for a roughing minor. Of course, Earhart and Lizotti's penalties were at 10:06, and Tsoukalis' penalties were at 11:59 in the second. Shots on goal in the first period was 8-7 in favor of the Wranglers, and shots in the second period were 13-10 in favor of the Wranglers. And total-wise, 21-17 in favor of the Wranglers. But that's not to say, though, that the Mudbugs haven't been getting some efforts going their way, getting some bounces at least trying to go their way at least. A lot of good action if you're a Shreveport Mudbug player down there in the net front, goal mouth, whatever you want to call it, the blue paint. Some good stuff going on there. In terms of goaltending numbers, like I mentioned, during the second period, Tyler Hodges is keeping this Mudbugs team in the game. 21 of 21 at shots and saves, of course. Charles-Antoine Girard on the other end for the Wranglers. He's keeping it a 1-0 hockey game. 16 of 17 for Mr. Girard there. So, of course, next week we will be in El Paso, and, of course, Chet Yoder will be back on this broadcast. And, of course, he's been missing each and every one of y'all who's been, calling him, texting him, whatever have you. He will be back next week when we are in El Paso. Of course, those games will have a bit of a weird start time because El Paso is in Mountain Time as opposed to Central Standard Time or Eastern Standard Time, but that will be then. So that's all for this game recap. Now let's look into the rest of the North American Hockey League action going on tonight. New Mexico, they have a lead over the Brahmas, 3-1. 35 seconds left in the second period. Corpus Christi, they lead 4-2 over the Odessa Jackalopes. That game, 16:50 in the third period. And I believe in the rest of the South Division, there's one more game. Yes, there is. The Warriors of Oklahoma, 2-1 lead over the El Paso Rhinos. That game in the third period with 18 minutes left. Mudbugs, like I mentioned, we'll see the Rhinos next week there in El Paso. Now we're going to move on to the rest of the North American Hockey League. Rochester, they defeat the New Jersey Titans 6-5. That game just ending right now. Elmira in Maryland, that'd be the Aviators and Black Bears, going into overtime. Actually, they are in overtime, 4-4. 2:40 left in that overtime period there. Maine, the Nordiques, they defeat the Johnstown Tomahawks 2-1. As well as the Northeast Generals defeating the Philadelphia Rebels by a score of 3-2. The Janesville Jets, they have a lead on the Chippewa Steel, 4-2. That game with 2 minutes into the third period. Not 2 minutes into, 2 minutes left in the third period, I should add. The Aberdeen Wings have a 2-1 lead over the St. Cloud Norsemen. The Minot Minotauros have a 3-2 lead over the Minnesota Mallards. 1:45 left in that game. And the Kenai River Brown Bears and Springfield Junior Blues, 8:48. Left in the third period there. The Austin Bruins have a 2-0 lead over the Bismarck Bobcats. Watertown Shamrocks, 2-1 lead over the North Iowa Bulls, 8:45 left there. And one more game left on the docket. The Minnesota Wilderness, 3-2 lead over the Fairbanks Ice Dogs. One game going final, the New Hampshire Mountain Kings. Oh, sorry, I lost my... Anyways, some of the teams get me a little messed up sometimes, but what does matter is the Danbury Hat-Tricks defeated the New Hampshire Mountain Kings 5-1. So that'll be it for the North American Hockey League action going on. Let's take a look at some scores going on in the rest of the sporting world. We're going to take a look at some NHL action. Sharks 1, Stars 1, 10:30 left in the third period there. Mammoth 1, Canucks nothing, second period there. And Capitals and Ducks all tied at 0, 16:22 in the first. Golden Knights defeat the Devils 3-0, and the Jets defeat the Buffalo Sabres 4-1. Now we're going to look at some college football action. Conference Championship Week going down. Let's take a look, firstly, at the ones that are still ongoing. JMU leads Troy 17-14. That's in the Sun Belt Conference, or as it is, the Fun Belt Conference. Little fact there. Moving on here, Tulane, the Green Wave. They are leading University of North Texas 24-7 in their conference championship there. Almost lost it for a second, able to get it back. Let's go around the conferences. Boise State at halftime leads UNLV 28-14. That's the Mountain West. Conference USA, Jacksonville State, has come back, but it looks like the Kennesaw State Owls will take this one for the Conference USA Championship, 18-15 over the Gamecocks. And then in the AAC, like I mentioned, Tulane 24-7. And then in the Sun Belt, 17-14 in favor of James Madison University. NBA action, the Celtics defeat the Lakers 126-105. Of course, that's coming after some news broke late that LeBron James would not be playing for the Lakers. But I digress. Moving on, Blazers 110, Pistons 110. Pacers and Bulls in favor of the Pacers 116-100. Now 117 as I speak. Rockets 113-89 over the Suns, 5-10 in the fourth quarter there. Sixers 103 over the Bucks, 94. Mavs and Thunder just getting underway in the second quarter, 27-27 all between the Dallas Mavericks and Oklahoma City Thunder. And, of course, some games going final. Memphis, the Grizzlies defeating the Clippers. Nuggets coming back, defeating the Hawks. Good game there. The Cleveland Cavaliers leading the San Antonio Spurs 130-117. The New York Knicks 146 to the Utah Jazz's 112. That's final. And the Hornets 111 to the Raptors 86. That game also final. And, of course, the almost said Utah Magic, Orlando Magic, rather, defeating the Miami Heat 106-105. Let's see what else is going on here. Eh? We got a little bit of time, 5 minutes left. Of course, now Mudbugs coaching staff as well as Night Athletic trainer Hunter Robinson and Mudbugs head equipment manager Billy T. Welker making their way back out onto the ice. Let's take a look at some college basketball scores just for a moment. Notre Dame is taking TCU, the Horned Frogs, to overtime. SJSU, that is San Jose State, 13-0 over San Diego. That game just getting underway now. Some games going final, some notable games. Gonzaga defeating Kentucky. Big upset there. Well, I say big upset, but Gonzaga's a powerhouse. Moving on, Portland defeating Lewis and Clark. That's an interesting score popping up on my radar. Nonetheless, UConn defeating TMAC. Let's take a look at that UConn game real quick. Some points. Of course, I believe a player to look out for UConn, at least in my opinion, if you're looking to get your March Madness predictions going early, is one Jaden Ross, number 23 for UConn. Of course, he had 6 points on the night, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. But again, that is a player to look out for on the Huskies of UConn. All right, so that is going to wrap it up for your Graph Orthodontics in-depth look around the world of sports. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers 1. When we come back, third period action coming up next. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on the Mudbugs Audio Network. We'll be back in a moment.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
As a business owner, you know it's important to stay ahead of your competition to succeed. One dishonest employee providing poor customer service can send your business to the penalty box. DeFata and Associates has over 20 years of investigative experience that can help you monitor your employees and investigate losses that may be keeping you from reaching your goals. Whether you need GPS tracking, investigative shopping, integrity testing, or you're experiencing losses caused by theft, DeFata and Associates can help. Give them a call at 318-635-9944 or check out their website at defatapi.com for more information.
Welcome back inside the bullpen here in Amarillo, Texas. Of course, the song that was just playing was I Want It That Way. And Mudbugs want this game to go that way. Of course, off the excellent performance of Tyler Hodges, might just get there. But I digress. Both teams now back out onto the ice, both coaching staffs as well as equipment and training staff back out onto the ice and benches respectively. Of course, the song before that actually was Friends in Low Places by Garth Brooks, and Mudbugs definitely do have some friends in low places. That's Tyler Hodges getting low in places. All right, I'll stop. Anyways, Mudbugs 1, Wranglers 1, Wranglers nothing. Don't want to foretell anything. Third period action is coming up shortly. Both teams now break from their huddle. Looks like out on the ice it'll be Somango, Jasser, Polonyi, Earhart, and Pusateri. So let me read that in position order. Of course, Jasser will be taking the face-off. Earhart on the left, Somango on the right, Pusateri and Polonyi on the defense. And for the Wranglers, actually it'll be starting lineup versus starting lineup. All right. Daniel Dolan, Jacob Miller, Tyler Sukalis, and on defense, Hayden Hedquist and Tavon McCorster. Face-off. Puck drop is 3-2. Full start. 1 now. Mudbugs win that face-off. Good stuff there from the Mudbugs. Polonyi over to Pusateri now. Pusateri gives it off to Somango. Somango will try to bounce it off the boards there. Gets stuck in the ref. Now Sukalis gets lost in his feet, at least for the moment. But Mudbugs do come up with that turnover. It's for Duke Earhart, who gives it to Jonah Jasser. Jasser will slam it on in there. Now Somango tried to find it. Bounced off his stick. And it'll bounce right out of the Wranglers zone. That was interesting. Of course, those of you, well, actually, I can't say that. I apologize. It looks like it was going to be offside. Let's just put it like that. Mudbugs lost possession quickly, but able to gain it back real quick was Evan Adams before getting on by Resega there, number 77, Daniel Resega. Now puck will go down to the ice, and it'll just be covered up on there by one Charles Antoine Girard. Of course, the Shreveport Mudbugs love their partners, including our friends at the Louisiana Association for the Blind. That's why we encourage our fans to support each and every one of our partners, including the aforementioned Louisiana Association for the Blind. Did you know Louisiana Association for the Blind produces copy paper? If your business or organization needs copy paper or other office supplies, visit lablind.com to order yours today. Faceoff will go to the left of Girard. Mudbugs will win that faceoff. Grayson Gerhard tried to find Mitchell Reed. It got deflected on there by one, number 93, but nonetheless, it just goes out of play. 93 for Amarillo being Caden Higarty. He slapped it down, and it went to the netting. Face-off will now come back out in front of the Wranglers bench and out in front of the zone for the Wranglers. The Wranglers do win that face-off. Poe will give it off to his man and get it right back, actually. Number 93, the aforementioned Higarty. He'll dump it on in. Evan Adams will get a stick on it, and now so will, they're trying to beat Jeremiah Roberts. Higarty able to keep it on in for the Wranglers. Now that's number 25, Lazzotti. Lazzotti getting battled on there. Wranglers still with it, still with possession, and the puck after takes a quick deflection off of the skate of one Evan Adams. It'll roll onto the net of Tyler Hodges. 18:42 left in this contest. Now I can say that. 18:42 left in this contest. Mudbugs 1. Wranglers nothing. Speaking of the aforementioned Louisiana Association for the Blind, there's free delivery for that copy paper or other office supplies within 100 miles, and help the Louisiana Association for the Blind help those with vision impairments live an independent life. Visit lablind.com and order your copy paper and other office supplies today. Wranglers with a quick shot after winning the face-off. Luckily, it just goes wide into the left of Tyler Hodges. Good stuff there. Now, trying to get clear possession are these Mudbugs. Griner thought he had it. He got some contact up into the face by O'Rourke. Moving along here now. And now Willie Tremblay gets tangled up there with a Wrangler. Now O'Rourke will get it. O'Rourke will try to get it on through. Just bounces off the stick of Thornton. Hodges will leave it off for Owen Case. Now Case, he gets his pocket picked by Williams. That is number 17. Williams there. Carter Williams. All right, took me a second. Now Vinny Giulio tries to get something in. Wranglers still trying to get back clear position. Battled in front of the Wranglers bench. Now Mudbugs able to just throw it on in. That was Jared Griner who did just that. That's number 14, Hayden Hedquist. Now he finds somebody in front. That's Lupo. He got battled on there by, I believe that is number 25. Yes, it is. That is one, Liam Wolf-Talby. Now Mudbugs come back the other way with the aforementioned Wolf-Talby. Try to find Sakrisky. No icing is the call. Jake Stock tries to get a stick on it. Nothing doing. Wranglers coming back with it. That's Bollinzay. Bollinzay shot, and it just goes off the pads of Tyler Hodges. Now Mudbugs come back with it the other way. That's Jake Stock. He'll just throw it on him, actually. It just bounces off the equipment of one Girard. Now Ty Easton battling on there with one. I couldn't quite read the number there. That is Raskin, number 89 for the Wranglers. Remy Pusateri now going to bring it on back in. Tried to find Jake Stock. Little hot and heavy there. Was that pass from Pusateri to Stock. Wranglers now have it back into the zone of the Mudbugs. Suchalis now. Pusateri will take the momentarily loose puck. But Mudbugs nonetheless will go up for a line change now. Wranglers just able to bang it on in there. But not for long, and Mudbugs come back out away with it. Sakriski, that gets tipped, and it goes into the bench of the Wranglers off the tip, and it went up and into the bench of the Amarillo Wranglers. Be a souvenir for somebody. Either that or be held on. Nonetheless, we thank you for listening to Shreveport Mudbugs hockey tonight on the Mudbugs Audio Network. We'll try to find out more about what's going on with the NATV, at least our audio feed on NATV. We'll try to find out more as it becomes available. Mudbugs win the face-off, but Resega now took it away, but not for long. Semango still with it now. McCorster keeps it in for the Wranglers. Now Resega going to hold it. Resega, and he got battled on there, but lost it just for a moment. Wranglers now back with it. That's Hickardi. Gave it off to Resega, then he tried to find number 93, Caden Hickardi. Wranglers now back with it. That's the aforementioned Hickardi. Got his pocket pick. Duke Earhart now going to find it. Resega now. Now be back in the Amarillo zone. They're going to try to set up a play. Nothing doing. Puck goes down the length of the ice, but it deflected off the skate of one, Hickardi. So no icing there. Mudbugs still with it. Now Zamango will just throw it on in there. Duke Earhart will follow Poe into the right-hand corner. Puck will scatter on out of the Amarillo zone, but Amarillo will be able to get it back on. Amarillo now goes out for a line change. 15:30 left in this third period. That is Owen Case, excuse me. Owen Case now for Grayson Gerhard. Thornton picks his pocket. Now Amarillo's trying to start something here. They'll just dump it on in. Owen Case and Williams will battle on. Owen Case wins that battle. Case will try to pass it up on. Did it deflect off of somebody? It did. It looked like it deflected, but one of the refs down on the other side, on the right-hand side, called it icing. So, well, now they're discussing it, and the verdict is, drum roll please, neutral zone face-off. All right. So the rule is, if a icing call was incorrectly called, the puck will come back out to the neutral zone. So face-off will be taken in the neutral zone. Bugs and Wranglers still battling on. Bugs doing that face-off, but they turn it right over. Remy Pusateri with a little shot on there. I believe that is Raskin there. Yes, it was. Now Mudbugs take it back. That is Nandor Poloni. He tried to find Vinny DiUlio. Couldn't find anything. Now Raskin will backhand it on in. Nandor Poloni will get a stick on it, but not before he gets his pocket picked. Turnover there by the Wranglers. Pusateri will just get it on out of there. Mudbugs go for a defensive line change at least. Now, number 18, Demo. Ooh, okay. You know what? We'll come back to that name when it comes back. Nonetheless, Mudbugs trying to get back into the zone now, and they do. Girard backhands it, and he tries to find number 15. That is one. Suchalis. That I'm able to get. Now, they're still battling in the Amarillo zone. It gets thrown in front. Suchalis tried to find it, and it got centered, but nothing doing there. Gentler now will get a stick on it. Suchalis, but will take it before anything can happen from Gentler. Jesus. Sorry, the PA announcer here just kind of jumped me out of my seat, more or less. But nonetheless, Wolf Talby for Sakriski gets his pocket picked by the Wranglers. Now, Wranglers are going to get into the Mudbug zone, but not for long as puck gets thrown back out of the Mudbug zone. And will it go down the length for icing? Yes, it will. Now some Amarillo players a little miffed at that call, but this one will not be called back as all referees involved called it icing. 13:32 left in this third period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. Of course, that lone goal so far coming from number 23, Evan Hoagland, back in the first, 5:45 in the first, rather. Face-off will now be to the left of Girard, and Wranglers will, but not for long. And Gerhard trying to find something in front. He got a shot off, but it got blocked away. Now Ty Easton shot, and it gets sticked off by Girard and into the protective netting. And when I say sticked off, it deflected off. Sometimes I say things that I think make sense, but ultimately don't. So all that you need to know is the faceoff will come out to the left of one, Charles Antoine Girard. That's just a fun name to say. Speaking of names, that is Domokajevs. That is Dominic Dikovajevs. Nonetheless, Mudbugs do win the faceoff, trying to find something in front, nothing doing. Grayson Gerhard trying to recover that, and he does, but not before it will scratter out of the zone. Actually, it was after it scrattled out of there. Scrattled meaning just bounced off. Anyways, Wranglers now back with it. That's Thornton. That's Henry Thornton. He'll just throw it on into the left-hand corner. That'll be the right-hand corner of Tyler Hodges, but Mudbugs come back out away with it. Evan Hoagland, it deflected off the aforementioned Thornton. Wranglers come back out with it, but it bounced off the skates of one Williams of the Wranglers, and now Mudbugs will come back the other way with it for sure. Duke Earhart going to throw it on in as he got some contact from Smith, and Lupo, big hit by Evan Hoagland. Good stuff there from Evan Hoagland. Had a fun game, and that puck will go down for icing. A lot of events all at once. Big hit by Evan Hoagland, icing down the other way. Face-off now will come out to the right-hand side of one. Girard taking that face-off for this line of Earhart, Jasser, and Semango. Has been kind of up in the air. It's been between Jasser and Semango. And looks like Jonah Jasser will take the face-off. Now we're just kind of waiting here. Now the faceoff will go to possession of the Wranglers. It'll get thrown on down, and another icing is called. Of course, that icing is brought to you by our friends at Louders Baking Company. Thank you once again to Louders for being the newest corporate partner of Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey. But, you know, a longtime Mudbugs hockey partner is Landers, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Fiat. They not only power our pregame show, but they have been a longtime Mudbug hockey supporter for many years and actually helped my dad get in a brand pre-owned new truck, if that makes sense. Mudbugs do win that face-off. They do win the face-off, but it's scattered out of the Wrangler zone there. So Girard will leave it off there for number 12 of the Wranglers. That is McCorster. Mudbugs take it back, but not for long. Higardi, and he got his pass intercepted by Joe Semango. Semango will try to give it off to Jonah Jasper. He did, but he lost it quickly. Higardi, the pass from the Wranglers defenseman, he lost Higardi. Owen Case now will get a stick on it while getting battled on by Higardi there. Jonah Jasser will now get a stick on it. A lot of stuff moving on. Now Jasser, he finds Earhart, and he gets, oh no, Jasser back out with it. Jasser, and his shot just deflects off the skates of Poe for Amarillo. Mudbugs still with it though. Pusateri for Earhart now. Earhart for Jasser on the left-hand side. Pusateri shot, and it just goes wide, trying to find somebody in front, and Amarillo will come back up with it. There will be a penalty called. Looks like it will, but not before. Actually. All right, so there is now a penalty on the Amarillo Wranglers. Looks like for high sticking. At least that's from what I can tell up here. But number 6, Landon Poe will go into the box. Something got thrown onto the ice. I believe that is a foam star being thrown onto the ice. For cross-check is the call to one Landon Poe. Cross-check will be the call to Landon Poe. A foam star got thrown onto the ice. So, let's move on from that. Mudbugs on the Scott Powerline power play for the next 2 minutes. Of course, the Mudbugs haven't had as much success as they have wanted to on this power play, but hey, no time like the present. Evan Hoagland will take the face off. Did the puck drop? Yes, it did. Now, that is Duke Earhart. Earhart's shot, it gets deflected on the way through, and it just bounces over the stick of Duke Earhart and will be cleared out of the Wrangler zone. Now, Earhart going to skate back with it. He's Going to take it over on the right-hand side. Stops, waits, tried to find Jeremiah Roberts. Jeremiah Roberts recovered it. Roberts found Hoagland, but nothing doing, at least for the moment. But Evan Hoagland for Duke Gerhardt. Burnt slapper! And it got deflected and just hit the top of the glass. Not the netting, though, so good stuff there. Now Hoagland's getting battled on, but Jake Stock will come up with it. Or at least trying to. Roberts tried to get a possession on it. But, of course, after that, Amarillo dumped it down the length of the ice. Hodges will leave it off for Johnny Burnt. Mudbugs will get a line change here. 1:10 left on the penalty to Landon Poe for cross-checking. 10:30 left into this hockey game. Evan Adams now will take it from behind his own net. Evan Adams will go. Tried to pass it off for Grayson Gerhardt. Went through his skates, but will be recovered by one Joe Semango of Havertown, Pennsylvania. Now Semango will take it himself. Semango up the left-hand side, and he'll backhand it on in. Not before Headquist got a stick on it. Tried to backhand it out. Still in the Wranglers zone. Now Evan Adams for Grayson Gerhardt. Gerhardt shot it, got deflected on the way through by a Amarillo Wrangler, but still in the zone. Tremblay was able to block it before it got cleared out. Now Grayson Gerhardt. Gerhardt tried to find, actually I believe he tried to shoot it, but it got deflected and bounced all the way around. Now Willie Tremblay on the right side for Evan Adams. Now for Jonah Jasser in the center, and it bounces off the skates of Tyler Sukalis. 15 seconds left on that Poe penalty. Mudbugs trying to get one more last attempt, but it will be a delay offside. 8 seconds left on the aforementioned Poe penalty. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and that'll be it for the Landon Poe penalty. Mudbugs, another power play attempt, not successful. Now Wranglers able to catch that puck at the feet of the skates was one, number 77, Daniel Resega. Now we'll get thrown on into the left, almost left corner of Tyler Hodges. Mudbugs now come back out away with it. That's Jared Greiner. Pusateri will find it. Resega comes back up with it, unfortunately. Tried to pass it up to somebody in front. Did Pusateri. Resega found it, though. But Mudbugs now back away with it. But not for long. They lost it, and now they have it back. Now Liam Wolf-Tulby, he finds one Vinny Dulio. His shot went wide and to the right of Girard. Now Ballanze up the left-hand side. Ballanze around while getting battled on. Some contact from Remy Pusateri. Good hit there from Pusateri. And now Greiner's trying to get out something in front. Nothing doing is Poe out of the box. Took it back, and Resega now will give it to Smith. Smith slaps it, but not before it's intercepted by Evan Hoagland. Now Jeremiah Roberts through the front, tries to find something, was able to get a shot off. Of course, it didn't go in the net, but still able to get a somewhat of a shot off. Mudbugs still with it. Gerhard, and it was given over to number 26, Jeremiah Roberts, but it was swallowed up by one Charles Antoine Girard. 8:02 left in this hockey game. We'll go to a quick timeout with the folks here in Amarillo. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers nothing. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on the Mudbugs Audio Network.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
As a business owner, you know it's important to stay ahead of your competition to succeed. One dishonest employee providing poor customer service can send your business to the penalty box. DeFata & Associates has over 20 years of investigative experience that can help you monitor your employees and investigate losses that may be keeping you from reaching your goals. Whether you need GPS tracking, investigative shopping, integrity testing, or you're experiencing losses caused by theft, DeFata & Associates can help. Give them a call at 318-635-9944 or check out their website at defatapi.com for more information.
Welcome back inside the bullpen here in Amarillo, Texas. And John Denver's, thank God I'm a country boy, playing while the faceoff will be off to the left of Charles Antoine Girard. False start there from both sides, so we'll try it again. Evan Hoagland will take the faceoff and will, unfortunately, not win it. Will the Mudbugs. Now, Amarillo comes back out with it, and that's number 8 through the front, and his shot gets blockered away by Tyler Hodges. Of course, that number 8 is Daniel Dolan. And now Jeremiah Roberts come back with it through the left side. Roberts trying to find somebody. He finds Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard's shot gets blocked away by one Girard. Amarillo with it, but Mudbugs do come back up with it. Now there's Jeremiah Roberts trying to shake off some Amarillo. Defenseman he does, and he finds, well, what's that shot from Evan Hoagland got deflected on the way through. And it will be a whistle, and I believe a penalty. Penalty will be called. Looks like it'll be a slash is what I'm hearing. Yes, and Evan Hoagland will go into the box. 2 minutes for slashing, I believe, is the call. We'll have to get full information. It will be slashing. It will be slashing. Being relayed to down here. So 2 minutes will go onto the board for Evan Hoagland and slashing. Of course, Mudbugs were now on the first choice personnel penalty kill. Thank you to first choice personnel. Faceoff will be to the left of Tyler Hodges. Wranglers win the faceoff. Higardi now will actually, after a pass, get it back. And now Resega now from the pass from Higardi. Shot on there by the Wranglers. Gets saved away there by Tyler Hodges. Higardi now will take it back. Right-hand side, and will skate along the half wall. He'll give it off to Smith. Give it off for Resega. Resega shot, and it gets saved away by Tyler Hodges. Of course, that is Bollinsay. Got battled on there a little bit. Mudbugs try to clear it. Nothing doing. Smith on about the right to mid-center. Higardi now will get it. Back for Resega. Resega over to Smith. Smith over to Higardi. Higardi's shot gets blocked by the skate of Joe Semango. Good stuff there. And now Resega back to Smith. We're back to Higardi. Resega's shot goes wide. And it just trickles in. So it looks like Bollinsay will get the power play goal credit for the Wranglers. And that'll make it a 1-1 hockey game. And here's how it happened. It went around behind the net of Tyler Hodges, and it just trickled on in behind Tyler Hodges. So that'll make it a 1-1 hockey game here with 6:25 left in the third period. Bugs got to get on their horses now. And now Jonah Jasper's going into the box. And so is number 25, Ty Lizotti. Those two have had issues all night. Interesting stuff there from up. And a star hits the top of Jared Griner. Actually, looks like it hit Willie Tremblay, but in any case, 1-1 hockey game off the power play goal. Off the power play goal, at least right now, is being accredited to Jake Bollinsay. Bollinsay, okay. I had it wrong the entire time. I called him Bollinsay, like a nice bolognese sauce. No, it's Bollinsay. Okay, Jake Bollinsay is right now being accredited. Of course, the statisticians off to my right working diligently here in Amarillo. So we'll find out here shortly. Brief timeout as the foam stars that I mentioned a little earlier on got picked up. So we'll find out the full. All right, so let's recap everything. Number 25 for the Wranglers to get an unsportsmanlike conduct. Jasser will get a cross-checking. We'll have to find out the goals here here in a minute. But it'll be a 4-on-4 hockey game for the next 2 minutes. We'll find out the goal here shortly. Now, Pusateri. Sorry. Moving on. Roberts now will give it off to. Okay, so Bollinsay will get the goal. And now Hoagland up with it to the backhand. It just goes off. And I believe that was Jeremiah Roberts. He got bodied down there by Smith of the Wranglers. He was trying to slap it. Icing looked like it was going to be called, but it got waved off shortly. Mudbugs still with it. Big hit there by Poe onto Pusateri. Wranglers still have it in the Mudbug zone. Pologna now battling on Resego, and Mudbugs come up with it clear. Pusateri will leave it off for Pologna. Pologna now for Pusateri. Pusateri will find Hoagland in the neutral zone, rather. Amarillo, excuse me. Oh, and a interesting turn of events that nothing called there. Evan Hoagland went down off a knee from, I believe, Resego. Nothing called. So, all in all, though, 45 seconds left on both the penalty to one Jonah Jasser and Ty Lizotti. Now Evan Adams will hold it. Adams back for Hoagland. Hoagland will find Mitchell Reed. Earhart circles around after getting the pass from Reed. Griner throws it in off the boards. Try to get it in. He did rather. And now Earhart going to battle on there with his fellow number 12. That was Javon McCorster. Wranglers come the other way with it. Thornton now tried to shoot it or find it. Somebody on through, got blocked at the feet of one Mitchell Reed. And now Lupo for the Wranglers. Shot into the glove of Tyler Hodges. 2 seconds left on both man's penalties, both for the Wranglers and Mudbugs. Of course, to the Wranglers was Ty Lizotti for unsportsmanlike, and Jasser, I believe, with cross-checking was the call. Yeah, I know. Anyways, I don't know why I just said that. I apologize for the out-of-turn comment, but nonetheless, 4:27 left in this hockey game, 1-1 hockey game, and both penalties have expired. Both teams now back even strength. Owen Case will keep it behind his own net for himself. Hodges stick fighting there with number 10, Boulenze, and the puck will go down the length of the ice. No icing called. And that was Vinny DiUlio trying to find something and make it out of nothing. But anyways, William Wolf-Tulby now for Jake Stock. Stock! Looked like the shot was going through, but it just went over to the right-hand corner boards. And now, Wranglers not so fast, folks. Vinny DiUlio trying to find somebody in front. William Wolf-Tulby tried to have something, but Vinny DiUlio will get the contact. It just goes off the side netting of the cage of Girard. Sorry, a lot of confusing events. But firstly, Damokavis tried to shoot it in front, and it just got blocked on the way through. I believe it actually got blocked at the feet of Liam Wolf-Tulby. Tulby passed it down, and it deflected off the stick of Jonah Jasser. I think he deflected it just right in between the other side of the red line. That would have negated icing. So overall, icing on the Mudbugs. 3:25 left in this third period. Mudbugs 1, Wranglers 1. Shots are in favor of the Wranglers, 26-22. Of course, now this third period is brought to you by our friends at Delta Utilities. And, of course, know what's below. Call 811 to locate buried utilities. Like Tyler Hodges located the puck and swallowed up in his glove. But, yes, this third period tonight is brought to you by our friends at Delta Utilities. Know what's below. Call 811 to locate buried utilities at least 2 days before digging, before any project. That's Delta Utilities. Faceoff will come up to the left of the aforementioned Tyler Hodges. I like using that word, aforementioned. Anyways, moving on. Pologna now will take it back. Take it rather forward. Pologna tried to find Duke Gerhard. Couldn't quite make that connection. Puck will go down to the length for icing on the Wranglers. Faceoff will go to the left of Girard. 3:08 left. Bugs 1, Wranglers 1. Thank you for tuning in to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey, listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey, wherever you may be, Buffalo Wild Wings, anywhere else in the Architects. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Mudbugs win that face-off. Pusateri looked like he was going to wind up for something fierce, but instead just finds it. Evan Hoagland, somebody in front, nothing doing. I believe it just bounced off the side post of the cage of Girard. Now Wrangler's going to come back out with it. They'll just dump it on in, and it'll go off the glass. That's Jeremiah Roberts, bounces it off himself. He'll give it to Evan Hoagland, but it will be called offsides. 2:44 left. Bugs 1, Wranglers 1. I can't say it enough. This hockey game has been the back and forth goalie battles of Charles Antoine Girard and, of course, Tyler Hodges. And that's the biggest thing that Hodges mentioned to me during the second period intermission interview, powered by your friends at Sonic Drive-In. Face-off will go out on the opposite side. The opposite side in front of the Wranglers zone. Wranglers did win that face-off. Now Evan Adams got a stick on it, just able to get it out. Jonah Jasser was trying to make something out of nothing, but he couldn't find anything. Now Wranglers still have it. They're now into the Mudbug zone. Dolan now over to his defenseman right there. Couldn't quite get a read on that number. Wranglers still with it. Mitchell Reed now battling on Sukalis. Now Mudbugs will take it back out, at least try to. Duke Gerhard. And now the net will come off. Mitchell Reed and Sukalis shoving some words. And I say shoving some words, I mean throwing some words and throwing a little shove here and there. We'll have to see if this leads to anything. And it will, at least from my vantage point, it will. Both men will go into the box. Sukalis for the Wranglers and Mitchell Reed for the Mudbugs. So Sukalis for fighting, and it looked like Reed was going to go in for cross-checking, I believe was the call. Of course, we'll have to get that relayed shortly. But what also happened was the net came almost fully off its moorings and landed on, well, not quite landed on Tyler Hodges. He was able to get out of the way before he did, but it still came off its moorings. So, penalties will now go on. So, let's get the call here. 15 minutes, or excuse me, not 15 minutes. Number 15 will get roughing, and Mitchell Reed will get the call as well. And it was for cross-checking, just to reiterate. So it was for cross-checking. So, be a 4-on-4 hockey game for the next 2 minutes. Face-off was off to the right-hand side of Hodges. Mudbugs did win that face-off. Owen Case now will backhand it to Evan Hoagland. Hoagland will take it up the right side. Hoagland going to try to stick handle through. He lost the possession of the puck. Wranglers will take it, and that'll be Poe. That'll be Landon Poe, to be exact. He'll give it off to Jake Bolinze. Bolinze now tried to find Lazzotti. Nothing doing. Owen Case lost it, found it, then got it back out for the Mudbugs. Now Jasser will duck and weave. He'll give it off to Owen Case. Owen Case now for Evan Hoagland. Hoagland will just give it right back to Jonah Jasser. Get a quick personnel change for the Mudbugs. Jonah Jasser will now back check into his own zone. We'll give it off to Johnny Burnt. Now they're just going to hold it and play ring around the rosy till they can get a quick clear lane. And I believe right now is the rush. Yes, it is. Johnny Burnt going to take it through the neutral zone. Burnt for Earhart. And it just bounced off the pad of Girard. Now Wranglers will take it back. Of course, now they'll play ring around the rosy till they can find a clear lane, clear rush. 1 minute left in this hockey game. 50 seconds left on the penalty to Sukalis and Reed. And now it's McCorster. He throws it on and it goes around the boards. Now Wranglers will be taking it back into their own zone. That's number 77, Resega. Resega will take it through the zone, through the neutral zone, I should add. Resega lost it, got it back. Resega getting battled on there. I believe that is, yes, that was Evan Adams. Wranglers still have it. They'll just kind of throw it in there lazily. Evan Adams will throw it back. Now Burnt will hold it behind his own net. 17 seconds left. 8 seconds left on each penalty. And now Grayson Gerhard going to try to find something. It just got lost at his feet. But now quick, back, forth. Mudbug still, chance. Johnny Burnt, quick, tries to get it in there and nothing doing. 2-1, and that'll be all. Well, we are going to overtime, folks. Mudbugs won, Wranglers won at the end of 60 minutes. Strap in, folks. Get your popcorn, get your drink. Get those checks paid for, because next goal wins. Next goal wins. So let's recap how we all got to where we are. So, like I mentioned several times throughout these broadcasts. Hoagland with the lone Mudbugs goal in regulation. And then for the Wranglers, it was Jake Boulanger in the third period. So Evan Hoagland with that goal back in the first, 5:45. Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts on the assist. And then Boulanger for Sega and Caden Hickardi. Penalties have just been back and forth, and back and forth. Goaltending-wise, Tyler Hodges, Charles Antoine Girard, excellent all around. So, of course, somebody is. Sorry, Okay, they make a lot of interesting mixes here for songs. They just transitioned Oasis's Wonderwall into a dance mix. Okay, that's a new one. Of course, it will be 3-on-3 overtime. Next goal wins, so get your drinks, get your food, get your checks paid for and cleared, because like I said, next goal wins between the Mudbugs and the Wranglers. An excellent effort all around from both of these teams, but more importantly, from these goalies, from Tyler Hodges and Charles Antoine Girard. Of course, after this game will be the start of the Nikki's Mexican Restaurant post-game show. Don't drink the water, try our margaritas today, but that'll be after this overtime period. Just a quick billet shout-out real quick while we got some time. Levi and Charlie Dew, Dave and Casey Bracciato, Jason and Courtney Davis, Jeremy and Kristen Kennedy, Chuck Landry, Jason and Sarah Morris, Martin and Carla Mueller, Scott and Karen Musket. Of course, they're watching, listening, what have you. Brad and Yoni Rayburn as well as Mark and Beth Woods. Both teams up to their feet now. Evan Hoagland will take the faceoff for the Mudbugs this overtime period, and the Bugs do win the faceoff here to start overtime now. Johnny Byrne will take it behind his own net, and he'll get battled on by Boulanger, the lone goal scorer for the Wranglers. Hoagland couldn't quite get the connection that I believe Johnny Byrne was trying to make. Wranglers now will take it in their net. Lizzotti almost lost the connection, but Roberts keeps it in. Jeremiah Roberts trying to make a move, but the puck will just roll on to the net of Girard. And now a little bit of pushing and shoving there onto Roberts. Whew. All right. Well, it is the overtime period. 4:34 left in the overtime period. Bugs won, Wranglers won. Like I said, next goal wins. So we'll get a personnel change. And now the referees the head referee, Wilson, discussing something to Jason Soupy Campbell. Can't quite tell what it is. Nonetheless, Duke Earhart will take the face-off. Semengo will be on the right wing, and I believe Evan Adams will be at the defense. Yes, he will. Bugs do win that face-off. Now it'll be Evan Adams by his lonesome on the left. He's able to get around Amarillo. And now they lost possession, but Bugs able to get it back. Duke Earhart will take it into his own zone, try to get a play developed. And now the start of it will. Now Joe Semengo on the left. Here comes Joe Semengo. Semengo holding. He finds Evan Adams. Adams going to hold himself, and he circles around. Dipsy-do, how do you do? And now Evan Adams going to get battled on there, and the stick of Resega will get loose, but Evan Adams had a pass in front and nothing doing there as he lost possession quickly. Duke Earhart trying to get it out of the feet of Smith for Amarillo, as well as Evan Adams is trying to get it out of the feet as well. Wranglers now holding on to that puck in the left-hand corner. It's loose from my vantage point. Still loose. Now back to the hold we go. Evan Adams will take it, and now, he poked out it, excuse me. And now Joe Semengo will set up shop. Now he'll go walk the tight rope. And now he'll just throw it back to Tyler Hodges. Mudbugs will get a quick personnel change. Nandor Poloni now will take it himself. Poloni through the left side. Poloni going to take it himself. He's got Stock in front. Stock tried to get it in front. Now Amarillo's got numbers. That's Dolan. He's getting battled on by Nandor Poloni. That shot gets blocked by Tyler Hodges. Now McCarty now. Now Mudbugs do take it back. That's Jonah Jasser with it now, and he'll just slow things down for a minute. 2:50 left in this overtime period. Bugs 1, Wranglers 1. Still going to slow things down here if you're Jonah Jasser. And he'll throw it backhandedly to one Johnny Burnt. Burnt now will try to take it. Try to beat out that foot race of Hedquist. I believe he almost did, and he got a little bit of contact up on the facial region from one Mr. Hedquist there. Now they're battling in the right-hand corner. Back to this battle, and hold. Make a song out of that. 2:18 left. Bugs. Wranglers still holding. Next goal wins. Holding. We're holding some more. They're trying to get clear possession of the puck. Bugs almost did, and some contact there from the Wranglers. Now Wranglers going to come up ice, but not before a quick personnel change. Dolan by himself, try to get around Stock, nothing doing. Now Jasser will take or get that contact, and now Jake Stock will take it for the Bugs, and he'll leave it off for Jonah Jasser. Jasser getting battled on there by a Wrangler. Now goes to the feet of Stock. Luckily, Mudbugs able to recover before anything damaging happened. Smith now going to circle in his own zone. He'll give it off for Bolden Zay. Bolden Zay now will take it up front. Bolden Zay, Wolf Talby, poke checked. He lost an edge quick, but he's recovered. That'd be Bolden Zay who did that. Wolf Talby now trying to get clear possession. He gets taken down to the ice by Bolden Zay. Bolden Zay grabbing at the stick of Jared Griner. Wranglers out in front with it. And it looked like it was going to get covered up by Tyler Hodges, but it's loose. And now Grayson Gerhardt going to come out with it. Gerhardt tried to find Jared Griner, but luckily Liam Wolf Talby's able to recover. And it is going to go to Griner. Griner tried to backhand, reflected. 1 minute left in this overtime period. Talby at the top of the defensive key. Talby, he gets his poke checked, and now Gerhardt's going to try to battle. Quick personnel change. Roberts will come out of the ice. Adams will come out of the ice. Griner will go off. Evan Hoagland will come on for the Mudbugs. Wranglers still with a couple guys out. Lupo now will try to get battled on there, and he will get battled on, but he'll circle around to get the contact down. Now, Gentler in front. He loses possession. Adams there will battle onside Gentler. Gentler holding behind the net. Wranglers still with it. 20 seconds left in this overtime. Now they'll go back out of the Mudbug zone. Going to try to get one more rush. Does Gentler and the Wranglers. Gentler tried to find O'Rourke in front. Nothing doing. 10 seconds left in his overtime period. Now he's in front. What a save by Tyler Hodges. Swallowed up 6.5 in overtime off the shot of one, number 7, Mason Lupo. Whew. Like I mentioned, Tyler Hodges keeping the Mudbugs in this game, for this entire night. 6.5 left in his overtime period. Jasser will take the faceoff for the Mudbugs. Looks like Vinny DiUlio will be out there. Excuse me, that is Duke Earhart. I should know that by now. Sometimes the numbers deceive me. Anyways, Jasser will take the faceoff, so will Resega. Resega, he gets loose. And the puck, after a backhand shot from Resega, gets covered up by Tyler Hodges. 2.1 in overtime left. Jared Griner now will come out onto the ice, and he'll relieve. Looks like Jonah Jasser, he will. Net also came off its moorings. Face-off looks like it'll go out to the right of, nope, actually it'll go out to the left. I apologize. The ref put his hand up, and I assume that meant it was going to go to the right, but it'll go to the left of Hodges. Jasser still going to take the face-off for the Bugs. 2.1 in overtime. A little bit of a false start there from Gentler. Now, quick shot, and it just gets blocked in front. And a shot off of number 25 for the Wranglers. Gets blocked in front. And now, after 3 periods of regulation hockey, 1 overtime period, it is now time for the shootout. Always fun stuff there. So, it is shootout time, as the Amarillo PA announcer is saying. Mudbugs in shootouts, 2 losses on the year so far. Amarillo just 1. So, we'll leave it to the imagination there. Of course, let's tell you how we got here real quick. Lone scoring from Evan Hoagland in the first period at 5:45. Grayson Gerhardt and Jeremiah Roberts on the assist. And in third period, Jake Boldenze and Daniel Resega and Caden Higarty on the assist. Resega and Hardiger on the assist. Boldenze on the goal. So it's getting to that point of the night, folks. So all right, well, 10 seconds left in this little intermission for overtime. So get on your feet wherever you are. Buffalo Wild Wings at your house. Wherever you are, get on your feet. It's shootout time, and it looks like we'll find out who take a shot first, and it will be the Mudbugs. It'll be Joe Simango. Simango, a part of the high-producing line of alongside Jonah Jasser and Duke Earhart. So, Simango. Okay, I'm going to have to talk about that. Anyway, Simango now going to take it. Now Simango's going to go up to the left. He'll take his shot. And it's gloved up by Girard. Okay, Seinfeld. And now shooting for Amarillo will be number 7, Mason Lupo. Lupo now waiting for the signal. Wilson giving his notes to Tyler Hodges. Now Lupo will take it. He'll go up the right. Lupo now getting in. Blocked away by Tyler Hodges. Good stuff there from Tyler Hodges. So no goal on either side. Now shooting next for the Mudbugs will be number 12, Duke Earhart. Well, at least you got that one right. Anyways, Earhart now will take the puck. He'll just go up straight through center. Earhart handling, fired. Oh, just wide off the backhand. Up and wide was Earhart's shot. He has the goalie beat, at least in my opinion, but just high up and wide. Now shooting for Amarillo is number 11, Alphonse Gentler. Gentler now will take it. He'll go up the middle as well. Gentler now getting on in. Gentler scores. The net went off its moorings, but unfortunately, I think for Tyler Hodges, the goal will stand. And now shooting for the Mudbugs, number 7, Grayson Gerhard. Gerhard now takes his strides, going to take it up the left side, now go up to the middle. Puck was still moving, thankfully. Gerhard, and the Wranglers will win it. Wranglers will win it in the shootout effort. And of course, the final score will be 2-1 in favor of the Amarillo Wranglers. Of course, Tyler Hodges going quickly out of there, and honestly, I don't blame him. An excellent effort all around, though, from Tyler Hodges. And yeah, I don't blame him, but that'll do it for the game at least. Of course, up next will be the Nicky's Mexican Restaurant post-game show. Nicky's Mexican Restaurant, don't drink the water, try our margaritas today. Final recap, Mudbugs loses one by a final score of 2-1 in the shootout effort. Of course, we'll be back here in a moment. You're listening to Shreveport Mudbugs Hockey on the Mudbugs Audio Network.
For those that have fallen, I say get up. For those that are asleep, I say wake up. For those that are seated, I say rise. It is time. The world needs what we possess. The only hope for a dark world is the light of Jesus Christ. Let your light so shine.
Thank you for tuning in to this Word of God Ministries message.
Hey, this is Chet Yoder, voice of the Mudbugs. DeFada and Associates Investigative and Risk Analysis Services has been conducting professional private investigations for over 20 years. They offer a full range of services to both individuals and businesses. Whether you need an investigator for a personal matter like a child custody case or you suspect an internal theft problem with your business, DeFada and Associates has the experience, training, and knowledge to get you the information you need. Call Jerry today at 318-635-9944 to talk about your case or visit them online at defadapi.com.
3 stars being announced here in Amarillo. Of course, the 3rd star of the night, at least from their perspective, for the Mudbugs at least, was Evan Hoagland. And Evan Hoagland did have his night. He got a goal early in the first period. But the rest are the rest. So, to recap, Mudbugs, they lose this one 2-1 in the shootout effort. So the good news is, at least some good with the negative, Mudbugs will gain a point out of this effort. And, yeah, that'll be it for that at least. Of course, we will be back tomorrow night. Same start time, 7:14, puck drop. We'll try to have the Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Fiat pregame show for you. Of course, I'll be talking to Mudbugs head coach Jason Soupy Campbell. Of course, talk to him about tonight as well as some other things going on, and just have to listen in. Sorry, I'll admit I take losses a little bit harder than others, and I believe the Mudbugs had a really good effort showing tonight. Tyler Hodges especially had some good efforts there, but sometimes, as the old hockey adverb goes, bounces go the other team's way, and in my opinion, that's what happened tonight. So let's do a quick recap, and of course, that'll be it for this broadcast. Just before we do, I'd like to thank those of you who stayed listening in, stayed above the Wild Wings listening in, wherever you stayed listening in. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot, and yeah, it really does mean a lot. Of course, Chet Yoder will be back next week when we come to you live in El Paso. Of course, I know a lot of you have been asking about him. Of course, I believe he got a well-deserved break, in my opinion, but he will be back with us next week. But that is then. Let's recap tonight's efforts. Of course, the lone goal for the Mudbugs, Evan Hoagland on the night, coming from Grayson Gerhard and Jeremiah Roberts. And then in the 3rd period for the Wranglers to tie it up and send this game to overtime was Jake Boulenze. And that was, assisted on there by Daniel Rosega and Caden Higardi. That was on a power play, I should add. Of course, the Wranglers did win this in a shootout. But that is all on that front, on the goal front. Penalties, lots of them, let's put it like that. Landon Poe, Evan Hoagland, just some of the names that were involved in the penalty box for both teams. Of course, Mitchell Reed as well. Jonah Jasser, Evan Hoagland, like I mentioned. Duke Gerhard, Remy Pusateri, and Jake Stock, all for the Mudbugs in the penalty box. Goaltending efforts, I can't say it enough. Tyler Hodges, 30 of 31 on the night. And Charles-Antoine Girard, 22 of 23 on the night, at least for regulation. I will say this, though, in terms of the shootout effort, there was only 1 goal scored. Both goalies kept pucks out of the net for the most part. Of course, one lone goal coming from the Amarillo Wranglers getting past Tyler Hodges. But otherwise, Hodges had a great game, in my opinion, as he's done these last few games. Of course, we'll have to find out more tomorrow night. Same start time, 7:14. Like I mentioned, we'll try to have the Landers Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram and Fiat pregame show for you. Of course, I'll be talking to Mudbugs head coach Jason Soupy Campbell. Mudbugs do gain a point tonight, so that is the good thing, at least some good with the negative. Of course, like I mentioned, tomorrow night, we'll be back here in the bullpen. And the full name of this place, actually, sponsored name aside, is the Cal Farley Coliseum at the Amarillo Civic Center Complex. So that's fun. But it is more affectionately known around the North American Hockey League as the Budweiser Bullpen. Well, that'll be it for me, at least for tonight. Be back tomorrow, as mentioned. Wranglers win this one by a final score of 2-1 in the shootout. And, yep, that'll be all. So, for me and everybody else in the Shreveport Mudbugs organization, have a great night wherever you are, wherever you may be, and whoever you may be. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, claws up and go Bugs. We'll see you tomorrow night. You've been listening.